Good afternoon to all. Joining us here from Bolero Mount Prospect in Mount Prospect, Illinois, as our 3 p.m. Eastern and 2 p.m. local here in Mount Prospect squad begins practice for their attempt at the 2025 PBA LBC National Championships. I'm $2 Phil Brylow taking you through the day. We will have PBA exempt player Stu Williams joining us in the booth in Game 2. He'll be with us for a while, so if you have questions, don't start piling them in the chat yet. Towards the end of Game 1, go ahead and start asking those questions to Stu in the chat. We'll get to as many of them as we can during his time in the booth today. All bowlers receive 10 minutes of practice before their LBC National Championships competition begins. And we have bowlers from 7 of our 8 divisions bowling today. And actually, if you count last squad with Stu and Chase Nadu, we've had all 8 divisions make appearances today. We'll go through our field during Game 1. Introduce you to everybody in case there's someone that you're looking for that's bowling on this squad and they maybe haven't texted you what lane they're starting on. And you want to follow them all day long. If you go to YouTube, you'll see all the pair feeds. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube right now, we're also simulcasting the main feed to Facebook. Facebook, you'll have to come over to YouTube to see all the pair feeds. You're more than welcome to stay on the Facebook feed or on the YouTube main feed, but we know a lot of people are looking for a certain player. Open up the description of the video that you're watching. If you already made it full screen, you may have to bring it down a little bit. And you'll see all the pair feeds in the description underneath. Right-click on the pair feed that you want to get to. Let's say you're a Verity Crowley fan. Or you're a Christianis Sergevasius fan. One of the bowling couples that's out here today with Verity and Christianis. They're starting on 17-18. We'll tell you the lane movement after every game here in the main feed, so keep us on. Plus, of course, you're going to have the great wit and wisdom of Stu Williams to listen to as well, and then you can follow that player that you want to watch all day long as they move from pair to pair here at Bolero Mount Prospect. Julia, thanks for joining us in North Carolina. Or actually, Michael, posting under Julia's name. Alias posting. Almost halfway through our practice. Well, actually, I guess it is 5 minutes and 50 seconds remaining, so a little more than halfway to go. Luis, thanks for joining us. Watching your sister Yvette. So Yvette, starting on 13 and 14, so you just saw her. And we'll let you know if you want to watch her on 13 and 14 the whole time, click on that pair feed. And like I said, double tab us, leave our tab open in the main feed because you'll get the audio from there. And then you'll get a little bit of ambient audio, and you'll get to watch all the action on 13 and 14 with Yvette. So pretty neat feature we have here with PBA's YouTube channel. And once again, thanks to the PBA, everybody gets to watch this event for free. No subscription needed, but if you haven't already subscribed to the PBA YouTube channel for some great content all season long, even when the main tour might be out of season for another few weeks before they come back at the PBA PWBA striking against Prince Cancer mixed doubles. Always some great content and added on, if not daily, almost daily basis by that great crew on PBA social media. Lots of bowlers supporting Verity Crowley as well. You see a lot of the blue jerseys, pink jerseys with the pins on the jerseys, similar to what you see on Verity's jersey. So a lot of her Patreon followers and subscribers bowling as well. Now there's Rochelle Blake, one of the people, along with Deandra Beatty, behind the Elite Youth Tour here in Chicago. Her husband, Rich, great pro shop operator, and going into the Chicagoland Hall of Fame this upcoming year. Rich just turned 50. We might see him at some PBA 50 regional events coming up sometime soon. Maybe as just a guest to start, but it wouldn't surprise me if he took the battle on the PBA regional tour. And once again, we'll give you the full field introduction during the opening game of competition. And then we'll follow the hot hands here in the main feed. We'll follow bowlers that might be trying to get their mini Duke if they were to bowl a perfect game. We've had 8 already here at the PBA LBC National Championships in 2025. Andrew Anderson, the latest bowler to earn his mini Duke last Sunday, and he's in contention to earn the Big Duke as he's leading the PBA exempt division. And if he stays there, he'll be one of 8 players we know of that will be eligible for the PBA LBC National Championships Clash coming up. Date, time, site, and broadcast location all yet to be determined, but if it's anything like the first 2 clashes, there will be some form of unusual excitement in almost every round. I mean, last year, who expected Liz Johnson and Boog Kroll to get 5 counts in the same round? Who expected Graham Fa to get a 5 count later on in the event and get eliminated after a roll-off? Yeah, it's the beauty of the one-ball clash format. Doesn't matter if you're a bowler who's been bowling 10 months like Garrett Bear was last year in the boys handicap division, or if you're one of the greatest of all time, Liz Johnson. You have an equal chance to get eliminated in any round of the clash. And if you look back at last year, Liz Johnson was out before Garrett Bear was. So I'm sure it's something
2 minutes remaining in your practice session.
Still sticking in Liz Johnson's craw as she is scheduled to make her appearance here at the PBA LBC National Championships on tomorrow mornings at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. local time for that squad. Get you back down to 3 through 6. Bowlers will be finishing their last minute of practice, and we will get you the introductions to all the players in this field during game 1. And as I mentioned, get those questions for Stu Williams ready here in game 2. We will have Stu Williams for sure, and he'll be with us for at least a couple of games before Stu makes the trip out of Chicago to places yet to be bowled. Stu bowled good. I think once we talked to him and we asked him to review his performance, he might obviously say that. It'll be interesting to see how he reviews his 6 games of competition. All right, and joining us in the booth bright and early on the squad.
All right. right, PBA LBC tournament bowlers, your 10 minutes.
It's Mike Sleds, our
of
tournament
practice
director,
is
first of all,
now complete.
getting in the way. Come on,
Before
Sleds.
we get started, just a reminder that when everyone on your pair is finished with each game, please make sure to hit the space bar to move your scores to the next pair, which is listed on your scorecard. Again, make sure you hit the space bar when everyone on your pair is complete. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give these competitors a nice round of applause. Good luck and good scoring to everyone.
And now joining me in the booth. I like this graphic. It's one of my better graphics that's been made for this run. The better half of the Beef and Barnsey show by far. One Stu Williams. And Stu, you took your shot at the lanes earlier today, and it's a fine line between putting up a number that like Andrew Anderson did last week, and you ended up still solid. You ended up at 229 over, but easily could have been more.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely felt like I hadn't bowled very many tournaments recently. Not really tournament sharp, but Phil, we're not focusing on the main thing here.
Which
we
is?
are award-winning broadcasters, me and you.
I was going to get to that, and I actually got a congratulatory text from our producer, Jeff Goodger, who's back at home in Michigan, keeping an eye on things. And yeah, we were the broadcasters last year that Jeff Goodger produced for the award-winning live stream that was awarded first place by the International Bowling Media Association for live streaming. So you're gonna get a plaque out of that. We're gonna order you a plaque, and we're gonna make sure you get that. We're gonna mail it to you. I'm gonna get your address before you leave.
Yeah, we'll get it on the Beef and Barnsey.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't necessarily know whether that's a reflection on how great we were, Phil, or how sad the competition has been in the live bowling space, because it wasn't like when we were, because weren't you in the booth with us when we had the Tommy Jones and me and the Duke and the sliding thing?
Right. Yes.
Like that was very memorable.
Right.
I don't really know what we did in that 3.5 hours that necessarily separated us from the pack.
I think it was just the information that was given, the humor that was provided, and such. And
okay. So we should be. I wouldn't think it'd be too challenging for us to win again.
I don't think it would be very challenging at all. I mean I know
let's just wrap this shit up right now.
And we go, and we're off.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely.
So
somebody hit me up a little while ago, and they go, "What are you going to do about Stu if he swears in the booth?" I'm like, going, "It doesn't matter if Stu swears in the booth.
It's YouTube.
We're on the internet. Yeah, we're on YouTube.
I mean,
if he didn't swear in the booth and we're on YouTube, people would think something's wrong."
Yeah, we'll try and keep the F-bombs to a minimum. But I mean this tournament. It's a fun. Oh, I got a drink. I had my hand up. A lady just missed the 5-pin.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, it's like I say, it's growing. I looked. I think the scratch division had over 400 entries now. So that's cool.
I think we just hit the 1,400 entry mark.
Yeah.
Overall, so considering it was less than 1,200 2 years back in 2023 when it was in Milwaukee, it's a pretty good improvement out of the tournament. There is Mr. Sleds, as we mentioned, handling the tournament director duties today.
Oh no, not for my squad. There wasn't enough people for my squad. So we got the Verity Crawley squad today.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, let's go down the line here and let's get down to near Verity's pair. Actually, let's get on Verity's pair.
18.
She's on 17, 18. We'll give everybody the full rundown in a couple of minutes here.
She's bowling with her significant other, Christianas. So he's a really good bowler in his own right.
Yeah.
But he works for Kegel. So I was saying to him how much more relaxed he looked with a bowling ball in front of him rather than a lane machine. I think he got a little bit gun shy of the lane machine, having dealt with he oiled the lanes for the PBA Tour. I think it was 2 seasons ago, the last couple of events.
Okay.
And that's definitely not a job for the faint-hearted or people with thin skin, because professional bowlers are very good at coming up with excuses.
As the current PBA lane man, and most of the time on tour, it's Eric Pearson, likes to say, there is one guy that likes me every week.
I mean, and I think I think he's so sure. I was about to say, I think he's pushing it, saying one. I mean, if EJ wins, EJ just like, it's not that I dislike you, I just don't care. I'm going to win regardless if you're here or not. So yeah, this pattern seems like I actually didn't really pay too much attention to it before we got here, but it feels like in comparison to last year, there's quite a bit more hook to start with, and I felt like the lanes kind of calmed down a little bit, whereas last year I felt like there was quite a lot of hold to start with, and then they kind of blew open.
Okay.
I didn't really feel like it was that way round this year, and it might have just been the pair that we started on, but I felt like I had to start quite a bit further left than I expected to, much further left than last year.
Yeah.
And then I the lanes kind of transitioned a bit. We got a bit of oil down the lane. Verity is starting there with a triple, so that's nice. She's bowling on one of the pairs that I think is one of the tightest pairs in the building to start with. So it'll be interesting to see, having had the 10-minute practice on this pair, what it's like for her next pair, because I think that the transition is going to be quite significant. Now, maybe my pair was because of people who'd bowled before us or whatever, but it was quite tight, 17 and 18 when we went there game 5. Yeah, game 5. I ended up moving 15 boards right.
Oh wow!
Pair, and throwing it a little firmer, but really not having any angle. So yeah, kind of using that hold down the lane. So in the end, that pair was actually quite easy. It was just not even remotely similar to any of the other pairs I bowled on. So that was kind of a bit weird.
Yeah. We saw Norm Duke was here opening weekend, and Norm actually noticed that when we were talking on that Sunday, where bowlers are going to pairs, and he was saying if this bowler doesn't do this, they're going to miss the pocket. And of course, Norm being Norm, right about 98% of the time on that.
Normstradamus.
Yeah. Did you see the bowler on the opening Sunday that threw the ball behind his back for his delivery, Pablo?
I did. As someone who's significantly wider than he is, it seemed almost impossible. But that guy isn't he wasn't super skinny.
No.
But man, he's flexible.
Yeah.
But the thing to me is what would make you bowl like that?
He says he knows he's never going to be good enough to throw 12 strikes in a row, but if he can throw strikes 12 different ways, people will recognize that with him.
But he bowls every shot behind his back, right?
Well, when he bowls, in this case for the tournament, that's how he bowled his entire league this last season. The year before that, he bowled two-handed. Left-handed with the left-hand dominant. The year before that, he bowled right-handed two-hand dominant. And he's working on the left-handed behind the back. He can bowl left or right-handed between his legs as well. And average about 185 doing all of it.
Oh my God. He's literally the jack of all trades, master of none.
Norm wanted to sign him up on a contract and go, me and Pablo are touring the country. We're going to go to all places, take on all comers.
You think it was Kingpin? Then what were they going to be? Dictionary salesman.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Norman's going to take him around the country.
Literally my favorite part of Kingpin, when he's about to get his hand shoved in the ball return, and he goes, Father, no! Yeah. And he goes, and he rips off the collar, he goes, I'm as much of a priest as you are a dictionary salesman, boy. Throw him down there. That's really funny.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
That's a beautiful thing. Yeah, if you get questions for Stu, throw them in the chat. Let's see, people watching San Antonio, people watching North Carolina, people watching California.
Thoughts and prayers to anybody who's anywhere near the Guadalupe.
Oh, yeah, gee, burrs. They said that storm just sat there for hours and didn't move. And how far is that from home base for you?
About an hour.
Okay.
Fredericksburg, maybe a little further, but the areas some of the people from Austin had gone there camping.
Yeah,
so that's how
I saw that big school or church group or something.
It's just horrible.
They said the river was rising an inch every 6 minutes for a while until it went up 20. All of a sudden, and it went up 6 inches every minute for 15 minutes. And wow, it's just incredible.
Yeah, it's
Mother Nature is never anything to be toyed with.
We keep doing it. So So Christiana's ended up with a spare there. Yeah. Verity still continuing her run. She went a little light last time on this lane. I guess the right lane felt like it's a little tighter. She got the tap on the 10 that time, so like I say, off to a solid start. What's the ladies' lead right now?
Oh, it's not a lot right now,
No,
Stu.
I think it's only about 120 overs, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. I believe it's, let me double check, 1324 here. Okay, get up past the men's handicap here. 1324, set last week by Margaret Ventrella, and she needed the strike on the fill ball to take the lead by a pin.
And then, like this year, though, they're only taking one from each division, right?
So far, that's what's been announced, yeah.
Okay.
So that's what's in the rules. But that was also in the rules last year before everything was set with the broadcast and such. Oh, we got another 5-pin. That was fun watching Graham Fott pay up at the Tour Finals.
Did he pay up?
Yeah, when he missed, he paid up. He was handing out something, drink chips or drink coupons through the crowd. Wonder how much that round cost him. $5 a piece at 150 fans inside the building. It's not that's not a cheap out.
I'm pretty sure he'd have got a nice deal from
I'm sure the Sands.
Lee and Kristen.
So I've only ever seen one pro do that, and that was Dick Allen at Coldwater, right? 2019. Missed a 5-pin during one of the elimination rounds, and it was early, so there weren't a lot of people in there, and Dick paid up.
Pretty sure I saw Andrew do it with his spare ball.
Okay. Oh,
there's another one.
5-pin.
Yo! Man, Bowl Error would be able to shop for the day. They've made enough money just by the missed 5-pins. I'm pretty sure it was Andrew.
Yeah.
And then he hooked at one and he almost missed it as well, but he threw his spare ball at it, missed it. I think actually, I think he did miss 2 actually.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm besmirching poor Andrew. This was a couple of seasons ago. Nick Pate started the U.S. Open by missing the 5-pin the one year. We were bowling on the long pattern, and he took his spare ball and he threw straight at it. But then he bowled pretty well, I think. But he started the tournament. I was like, ooh,
yeah.
That's not a confidence builder, is it? 5-pin whip. We've all done it at some point.
Oh, absolutely. Saw a USBC Hall of Famer doing it on a live stream I was doing a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah, Gus Gianaris made a nice whiff on a 5-pin on a Wednesday night sweeper. Ashley Jackson, good. Oh, she got to open in the 4th and. Okay, so still a halfway decent start, but she's in the women's classic division as well as Verity.
Okay.
So, once again, even though one game in, keep a good pace going. Especially.
Well, Verity's already 40 over right here. So, strike here gets to 50 over through 6 frames. This lane had a little more hook.
Yeah, you called it.
Yeah, that's how that lane was. The right lane was a little more hang. But still, nice start. Let's see. Let's have a little run around the horn.
Yeah,
so
let's
speak,
go.
See what's going on.
Yeah, let's go back down here to 3 through 6. We've got Darren Childers, Tom Kim, Dale Lyon, and Jack Bargio on 3, 4. On 5 and 6, it's Jack McCaisland, Kristen McCaisland, Anthony McCaisland, and Tara McCaisland. So nice little family.
Affair.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about this LBC National Championships. You bring your family, and odds are you could bowl on a pair. And we've had a couple occasions now where we've had 2 or 3 members in a family on a pair with a PBA exempt player as well. So you talk about a big highlight for some people. I noticed today, not just the people on your pair, Stu. It was a relatively small squad, but I don't think there was a single person on the squad you didn't take a selfie or get an autograph with.
No. Like I say, that's part of the reason why we're here.
Yeah.
We're trying to increase people's enjoyment. Get them to understand a little bit about the game and have a good time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, we got 1 triple here. Is that Dale? Is that what that says?
That would be Dale. Yep.
Yeah. So Dale's opened up with a turkey. Let's move along a little bit. Let's see what we got going on.
Let's go around 7 to 10. Kevin Polkey, Adam Curry, Leanne McCaisland, and Chase Zabala are your foursome on 7 and 8.
I don't necessarily know that they're having the best of times on that pair.
Yeah,
but
all handicap division players on that pair too.
But
so
Andrew's off to a fairly good start, but I would be surprised if any of the other 3 are enjoying their starts. Chuck, has a nice triple there. Hasn't closed another frame, but has the triple. So
Bryce Oliver ball motion today.
I was about to say my last game was like that. I went strike, ball change because it didn't look very good. 2, 4, 8, 10. Went back to the other ball, Greek Church, struck all the way to the second shot of the 10th, 7-10. So I bowled 230 without a spare.
So Michael Walden, Chuck Culbertson, Brian Black, Kevin Black on 9 and 10.
Okay. So let's see next pair. 11 and 12.
We've got Sindhu Savariu.
Oh, what a spare!
Jayakula. How about that?
There we go.
Quality
He just
pickup.
made the 1, 3, 8, 10. You don't see that spared every day of the week. Barnes almost left that on the senior TV show the other day. Had the old front 3. Looked like he was feeling himself, like he was going to shoot 300. Then he had the old drive-by.
Himself, yeah.
The old drive-by on the headpin. Love you, Chris, but goddamn. Woo!
Najendra Kumar Palasamy is your bowler on the top on lane 12 there. So not too often we get a bowler where the first name takes up the entire scoreboard. Hey, how about that on the crossover?
He's wearing a Verity shirt.
Yeah.
So, but quickly with Chris, shout out. Oh my God, the guy almost spared the 4-6.
Oh,
the lefty almost spared the 4-6 then. Yeah. Shout out to him for getting that title. As much as I want to give him a hard time, I was texting with the Storm Ball reps a little bit, and we were laughing when he left it. I said, you see how much better Chris is? I know where I stand to shoot that. He looks lost. I was like, and when he shot it, I was like, where's he going? Like, you throw it straight down fifth arrow, Chris, hit the left pocket. There isn't a go for the pocket on this. What are you doing? Where are we going here, fella?
So
yeah.
Quite a few players in the handicap division here on 11 through 14. So
I feel like there isn't really much for us to commentate on the handicap division unless they're going to take the lead in something. Yeah. Just because I don't know what a good score is.
Right.
Because it's very difficult to keep track of what their what their average is like and stuff. Yeah. So let's keep going.
Yeah. So there's.
Man, this camera. You went up in quality for this camera.
Well, so it's what happens is we got all the cameras from the ceiling. Yeah. So if we're in front of those orange lights, it gets a little orangey, as you see here.
Yeah.
We try to make the adjustments as we can.
A clockwork orange.
Right. But we're also way out of the bowler's way. I mean, you go to a PBA event and you're dodging tripods and all kinds of stuff.
It's nice when you can just set it up once and leave it for a while.
Yeah. So
it's a good shot again.
Thing. Oh, flat 10.
See, it's kind of forced us. See, this is what happens when you're bowling on patterns like this. What's happening is she's got a good line on the right lane, and the left lane is a little drier. So what's happening is it's forcing her to be a little further left with her feet. Now, when you're bowling on something a little softer like this, sometimes it's actually a little better if you can keep your speed up and keep it a little more in front of you. So you kind of have the same angle, because all that's happening now for Verity is she had the one that's overhooked a little bit in 4-pin. She's moved, and then it's kind of struggling to get up the hill a little bit. I think once she gets off this pair and gets on a different pair that's got maybe a little bit more hook down lane, I think what she's doing there is going to work. But right now it's just that in between, and it's she just needs to get the strike on the right lane and just I think just commit to being a little further right and just kind of just making it fit, either a little more speed, a little more forward roll, rather than getting off the spot too much. I don't know that's necessarily helped, getting more angle. That was a pretty good shot for 9. Oh, there's Jerry Mars.
Yeah.
Jerry.
He runs a great sweeper series around here on Friday nights out of Poplar Creek Bowl. For the summer, they're getting 100+ bowlers every Friday night out there. It's phenomenal. So,
yeah, our version of that is Omar Annette. Arnett. He runs it in Houston.
Okay. Is that the NDO stuff I've seen on?
Yeah, they have it on Monday nights, I think it is. And they have I'm not really quite sure how it works. I think it's an eliminator where you bowl 3, then it cuts, then 2, then whatever. But the big thing is they have like a 5-game strike jackpot and a 5-game clean pot. And sometimes the clean pot like goes most of the summer. I think a couple of people have hit, but like it's been in the 5,000-6,000 range.
Oh, geez,
so
that's insane.
So yeah, so a lot of the guys like are more worried about that than they are about winning, because winning only pays like 1,000.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Damn lefties. Oh, it's Rich Blake. Okay, he's fine.
Oh, we've got a good score here at the
Rochelle Blake. Yeah. So Rochelle, I don't know if she's in the senior classic or, I mean, they'd have it like Liz Johnson would have a choice, senior classic or women's classic. I'm sure that Rochelle's going to be in the women's classic. Yeah, women's classic. So, yeah, Rochelle runs with DeAndres Beatty, runs the Elite Youth Tour up here in the Chicagoland area.
She's off to a flyer.
Yeah. We've seen her.
Let's stay around and watch her throw this night.
Absolutely.
She strikes here, we can watch her finish out the game.
She was just giving me a little bit of fun grief before, because I got a couple of TV tournaments coming up in Wisconsin, and they're just one day. We qualify and tape in the same day, so it's like 8 games of Baker before we cut to a semifinal. Like Baker doubles or Baker trios, just 8 games, and here we go. And she's like, it's going to take longer for Rich and I to drive up than we'd actually bowl. I'm like, yeah, sorry, it's just we got to get in and out of these houses during the summer sometimes. And she's a sweetheart. I've seen her bowl. She's come up a lot of times for the TV stuff we've done up there, and her and Rich have been on quite a few of our shows. So, like I said, she gives a lot back to the bowling community too.
It's a nice shot.
Yeah. There you go.
There we go.
Always helps when hubby drills your stuff too. So.
Yeah.
With Rich being a pro shop operator.
I was like, let's calm it down. Let's not give him too much credit. Because obviously, he drilled his own stuff. Is he bowling?
Yeah, he's coming up right now on.
He bowled his own stuff, and it ain't working out too good for him. So the ball drilling wasn't that important.
Maybe it's the side of the lane. No, I'm kidding. Since Rich is a lefty, so trying to see how many other names I know are in the scratch division up this way. That's about it. I think we're hitting the wall. I think Ted Rosenquist up on 29-30 would be the only other scratch player we got.
Well, we can flick over and come back.
Yeah. Let's get over and see how Teddy Ballgame's doing. Yeah, Rich has got to find something else. Teddy Ballgame 29-30. That's his daughter, I know.
Well, this kid looks good. He's off to a good start here. He's got 250 running.
Chris Swift.
Ah, well, there you go. I straight shot on his dreams. My black clouded that.
My wife this morning, she's my production assistant, and everybody knows I got a couple of them. We use her Rogue Poppies.
A couple of wives or a couple of production
assistants? I couldn't afford a couple of wives for what the PBA pays me on this job. So my wife this morning, she's let me know all the bowlers that have really good starts, and it's just like Chase had 5 in a row. Never mind. Nick 5 in a row. Oh crap. Oh this. Every person she sent me immediately in the next frame just didn't do it. So your new nickname is now the Stopper. She did it for 7 bowlers on that squad before she just gave up and said, look on your own.
So there's not anything special going on here?
No.
Let's have a look at this N couple of pairs. Oh, it's only just the one. No, is it 2? Because I think
I think they're already left. I think there was only 3 on that pair, so they're already
nothing,
on their way down.
Good start there, though. Anthony. Is that Anthony? Yeah, Anthony.
Yeah.
230 something. Yeah, like 236. Yeah. Should we switch
PBA
back
Junior
to Rochelle?
Member. Yeah, Rochelle. Oops, hold on. Let me get one more. There she is.
Oh yeah, just in time. So she has a chance to get out to a heater.
Anthony Swanson, he's a PBA Junior member, but he's using the option to bowl up in divisions if you're a scratch player as a youth. You can move up in the Open Classic, and
why would you do that? Oh, I guess because it pays more.
25 grand instead of 2,500. Yeah, bit of a difference.
And there's 60 for making the Clash.
Right.
It's kind of weird. Like, when do they have to make that decision?
When they check in.
Yeah. Well, that's where that's a bit messed up, because like somebody might bowl like the first couple of squads. They don't really get the choice.
Right.
You can make your choice based on score, so to speak. Like if somebody bowls 1,600, you're not entering that division, are you?
Right. So yeah,
that needs to hook.
Roll it.
All right. So make the 2-pin. Got 250.
Let's see what Verity's going to finish up with here. She's filling it out.
248.
So that that's definitely up for grabs on the women's classic division. And again, there's still, players that made the clash in past years. Verity made it in 23. She finished in second place that year. Danielle finished second last year, and of course Liz Johnson both years just said, this is must be nice averaging 250 in the 12 games of your PBA LBC National Championships competition like Liz has.
Okay, V, 248 to start with. Solid start. Be interesting to see where are they skipping one, or are they just going to the next
they
start?
are skipping one going to the second. So 17-18 is going to 21 and 22. Isn't that what you had this morning as well? Or did you go to 23 and 4?
We just went one at a time.
Okay. Because 19 and 20 wasn't in play for you guys. So, you went to 21 and 2, so she's getting the same move that you got late in the block. Let's see.
Yeah.
Stu, what would you be doing for a living if you weren't a bowler?
Good question. Well, I've got a degree in accounting, so something like that. Something boring.
You never know. You could get in those Excel World Championships like they had in Vegas.
I was about to say, maybe I'd be an OnlyFans creator.
I can show you how to wire everything up. So.
Yeah, I've got my own podcast.
Well, I understand, but we can get you some really good angles. So.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure angles is my problem. I think it's the content that would be my problem. I can fill out the angles, Phil.
Yeah. And somebody's asking, how did you get started in bowling in England?
Well, I used to, when I was a kid, me and my dad played this thing. It's called Crown Green Bowls. It's like you bowl on grass. So you have like little, whatever. I'm not going to describe it.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's an outdoor game. It's really a summer game. So me and my dad actually started bowling at the same time. A bowling center opened pretty close to us. So we wanted something to do in the winter. My mom wanted us out the house. So so then that's how I started. Yeah.
Okay.
I started quite late. I was like 12 or 13. Same with Dom. Dom was like 11 or 12 also. So Chris is going to end up with like two teen.
Yeah.
Looking like he's trying another ball.
Who just typed in Jesus I'm listening under your handle on YouTube?
Oh, it's probably Tina.
I'm like looking. I'm like, hold on. I didn't see you go for your watch or anything. What's going on?
Yeah, it's probably Tina.
It's probably Tina. Okay. Yeah. Tina and Brady at home, or are they?
Or is it on Facebook?
It's on YouTube.
Oh, YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. It's. I mean, it might be Barnes. But yeah.
I was gonna say he's on his way back. He's got to be on his way to Michigan pretty soon. Got done with Bowl Expo. He was probably out there. And then PBA 50 World Series starts in a couple of days. So I think it's a little short. Well, could he get home first before heading back into Michigan?
Yeah, Chris was up here and then he went.
The questions are rolling in. Does Stu Williams really enjoy egg salad sandwiches? From WK to Dam. WKDADM. WKD Adam.
Don't know. Yeah, sometimes. Only if I make it myself. Americans make it with mayonnaise. I don't like it with mayonnaise.
I love a great 7-Eleven in Japan egg salad sandwich.
Oh, yeah?
It is the best egg salad sandwich in the world.
Yeah. Those microwaves in Japan are the crazy.
Oh, yeah.
The 7-Eleven microwaves. They say, press this button. They'll give you your food and they'll say, button 7 or whatever. You go over and you press it and it's like 11 seconds and you're just like, how is there not like radiation or something? Like what are we talking about? And like you're like, that can't have worked, and you pull it out and it's like super hot. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah, the technology is incredible in Japan, no doubt about that. Are we underway? Nope, we're not underway with them. Let's get down. As we got some action down. Players that we started with over on 31 through 34 are now on 3 and 4. So we didn't see Pam Malinsky, Ridgely Potter, Taylor Wester, Chris Sterling in game 1, but they're your players on 5 and 6 there here in game 2. So, it is Tina. It's been verified in the YouTube chat. Hi, Tina. Hope all is well. And Brad Stetton says he's 58 years old and wants to bowl like Stu when he grows up. No, it's when you grow old. Growing up is optional there. Brad, just ask my wife. She'll be the first to tell you that with me being 58 years old and her only child, even though she's only 52. So, Yeah, if you got questions, drop them in the chat. More than happy to ask them. Jimmy's asking if it ever gets boring when you throw it that good.
Don't know.
Ask EJ. I was gonna say, there's about 3 guys in the world you could actually ask that question to. So, I saw EJ here a couple of weeks ago. He bowled with his wife Natalie, which they rarely bowl together in tournaments, and they were both here for an LBC squad and had a great time with a couple of gentlemen that were on their pair, and absolute blast. And Christian Ascona in the house. He'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah, it's almost a tour squad tomorrow.
Yeah,
there's more tour players than regular people, I think.
Right. Just about.
Crazy.
And then you get a couple of the PWBA women. I know Liz is going to be here. I think Danielle's scheduled to be here.
I think they're about to start on 21 and 22.
All right, let's let's actually get to the right pair. There we go. Come on.
What are we doing? Let's get this shit on the road.
Yeah. I like Stu's approach. It's so simple and clean looking. That probably came from the initial game you played with your dad? Or?
Yeah, like the straight swing part did for sure.
Okay.
And like hand-eye coordination stuff is like, I find that kind of, it comes easy to me, I think.
So, a question I have, how many episodes of the Beef and Barnsey show are you gentlemen up to now? It's got to be over 250.
Well, no.
No?
No, probably not quite that many because, well, we started in March 2020.
Yeah.
And on average, I guess for the whole time, we've probably done like 1.5 episodes a week.
Okay.
Like I would say, so that's about 75 a year.
Okay, 5 years.
Yeah.
That's
probably
getting close.
Yeah, it's probably a bit more than that. Then it's probably closer to 300. But yeah,
I just love the way you guys connect with the fans through.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, we kind of got it as like a when we first started doing it, it was a space for people to come and chat about bowling because they didn't have that like outlet to go to the bowling center, and for a lot of people that was, that's their community, like that's their people. You know what I mean? And we're all bowling nerds at heart, and it was. That's what I expected, a bit more hug. We're all kind of bowling nerds at heart, we all love the game. So it was just a place for people to, come and just, get their bowling fix, really.
Yeah.
I still remember to this day, like, because we have, about 120, 130 people watching right now.
Getting in the booth, yeah.
And I remember we were doing it on Facebook, and we were doing a mock draft, right, the one time. Some random Tuesday afternoon in the middle of COVID, right? We're doing a mock draft and I started doing these mock drafts because I listened to NFL radio, and Pat Kerwin and the other guy, I forget his name, Jim Miller.
Okay.
They do a mock draft with the audience.
Yeah.
Like, who they'll get a Dolphins fan. Who do you want? And they'll do these mock drafts leading up to the draft.
Right.
So I said to Chris, I think we should do this, right? And so we do one, and it goes okay. And then the next time we're talking, and the PBA and I think it was Flanagan at the time shared live our Facebook on their account because they were looking for content, whatever.
Right.
And we had 2,500 people watching us do a mock draft for the PBA league.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Oh, it's insane. Yeah.
Yeah, like 2,500 people live, like.
Right.
It was so fun, like doing that because like literally there was nothing to do. Like it was just a wild time. Like you were just sat in the house.
Yeah. Unless you knew somebody that had keys to a bowling center, you weren't going out and practicing.
Yeah. And but you weren't really going out and doing anything.
Yeah.
So it was cool being able to do those shows, and like I felt like in our own way we just kept the community involved a little bit more in the sport for that. 6 or 8 months that some people weren't doing it. Yeah. And then since then, we've kind of pivoted more to try and, just give people, a kind of a behind-the-curtain look at, high-level bowling. Trying to give them a little bit more, info that they couldn't necessarily find out. Because I feel like bowling is quite... there isn't a lot of resources to find out really the high-level parts of the game.
A lot of the top, like back in the day in the 60s, 70s, 80s, where it wasn't as advanced physically and the equipment,
complicated.
Everybody was writing bowling books. You get a Don Johnson book on bowling or that kind of thing. Nowadays, all the top level stuff you guys get on tour, that stays in the ball reps and the players and that kind of thing. That doesn't really get out there for the commenters.
It's just way more complicated. But I think that what I think me and Chris try to do is we try to relate what's complicated into something that people will understand a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because I think that you can say stuff in a way that is super complicated and people don't understand, and it doesn't help anybody.
Right.
And fundamentally, bowling's not that difficult. Like, you're throwing a round object down the lane, and you're trying to knock over the pins.
Yeah.
Like, and I say this all the time because, like, Walter Ray's arguably the greatest bowler of all time, and like, Walter really focuses on hitting the 1-3. And like, I think sometimes younger players, myself included, like when the lanes start to get a little more challenging, like we start worrying about way more things than just controlling the 1-3.
Yeah.
And Walter almost never worried about the things that we're worried about, and he won 47 national titles.
And 100 and whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, like, regardless, he won 47 national titles. Yeah. For a guy that wasn't really trying to make it super complicated, he was just like, just hit the pocket.
Yeah.
So, and that's not to like disparage him in any way. It's like, it's actually amazing that, like, because he's got so much touch and feel.
Right.
That he doesn't like, it's almost like he couldn't even explain to you the things he's doing because it's just so natural to him.
Which is funny with a guy with a physics degree. I could use all the numbers and angles on it, and he doesn't use it when he bowls.
No, not at all. Like, you hear him sometimes, complain about carry as if it's totally luck when it's just not. And it's just, but like I say, a lot of the time we worry about all these things that, it feels like the ball's going too long, or it feels like this, or I'm just not getting the carry when I do that. And it's like, fundamentally, let's just hit the 1-3 like 4 or 5 times and like move on from there.
Yeah.
Like,
we're going to check in on Rochelle Blake. She had that big game in game 1 as well. We will get over to her momentarily when she steps up. We're going to have a minute here before either one.
Verity left the 4-pin the first time and missed it, and then it looked like she threw it a little harder. I don't know if that's what she actually did or just the angle it looked that way, but she got a pretty good crack, the 6 on 10 for the strike. So, yeah, and then, of course, Chris went up and he had the strike, and then he had the 7-10 that you saw.
You got to laugh at some of these questions in the chat. This one actually made me laugh. Verity Crowley's swing looks really loose and real free. Can you ask her what brand of underarm deodorant she uses in order to optimally reduce the friction during her swing? That's a good one. WK Adam, yeah, that is. I got a chuckle out of that one. I'll give you credit. Let's see if Verity can do here to double.
Yeah. Oh, she got away with it. She got that trip on the 4-pin.
Somebody wants to get lessons from you, Stu. Can you make a trip to Colorado Springs? Do you do a lot of clinics and that kind of thing?
I don't really do any lessons at the minute. Like,
okay.
Tell him that if we can get together a group, me and Chris will come on.
All right. There we go. Let's check in on Rochelle Blake. Coming off an open, now looking to pick up a 2-pin.
Can we pretend it's the 5-pin just for fun? It's a displaced 5-pin.
I think Rochelle will let us get away with that. Love beat from Barnsey. Love beat from Barnsey. Love Stu's approach. Simple and clean looking. Best ball you know right now on heavy oil patterns?
On heavy oil patterns, I mean, for me on the roto grip side, on the roto and storm side and global, I guess, we have really 2 options. We have the Ion Max, which is the one that I tend to lean towards, and then we have the Hyperdrive, which is a little bit cleaner. Both seem to be okay. Like I say, I lean towards Ion Max at the minute. That looks good again.
There we go.
Looks like the right lane is a little tighter. I actually had it the other way around, I think. I actually had it the other way around when I was bowling on that pair.
Just because of the distance into the block that you were compared to her, she's in game 2.
Maybe because of who played, or maybe just because I was further left. But like it looks like for Verity, the left lane is hooking a little more than the right lane for me when I played that pair.
Okay.
The right lane was hooking more than the left lane.
Tour's basically off to the Lucy. Assume that you're in on the Lucy once again?
Yeah, I'm bowling with Josie Barnes.
Oh, that's
just
a
fresh
great
off
partner.
her Queen's victory.
Absolutely.
So, like, I am definitely... Oh, another missed 5-pin there right in front of us.
He missed one earlier.
He actually hit it. He hit it. He just didn't knock it over.
We're going to get over to Rochelle once again. Yeah, Josie, spectacular human being in her own right, of course, but then, that big win at Queens was fun to watch. Wish there would have been a little bigger audience for him for it. That was, I was surprised for Las Vegas the audience was that small.
Oh, they really struggle with crowds in Vegas.
Yeah.
Like, when we bowled over there, they've been not great.
Not great, okay.
There's just so many things to do in Vegas.
Yeah.
Plus, it's way out there where they were bowling.
Oh, Suncoast, yeah. Actually, my favorite place in Vegas resort is right next door at the JW Marriott in the Rampart. Yeah.
You like staying over there?
I love staying over there. Found it out by accident one time when we were covering this U.S. Senior Open when it was at the Suncoast on Extra Frame and made the jaunt over. I'm like, I like this place. Talked to a host. Said, yeah, well, come on over. Okay.
Yeah.
So been there ever since. That and Circa downtown is a great one.
It was absolutely insanely expensive hotels and everything that weekend for the Queens because it was the same weekend as EDC.
Oh God. Okay.
So I left Monday morning.
Yeah.
Because I had to get back, and the airport was rammed at 6 a.m. People everywhere.
See, which is strange because the year in 24, they hosted the Super Bowl out there. This year, didn't host it. And my wife and I were walking on the Strip Super Bowl Sunday night, walking through the sportsbook, like the Wynn Sportsbook was like half empty. Like that was unbelievable. Like I'm expecting to walk through and have this huge crowd and stuff. Oh no, here's the street to yourself, everybody. And then everybody going nuts when they finally got to the over. Then again, I think Kansas City got to the over themselves. So they needed a little help from the Eagles on that one.
No, they got crushed.
Oh, I know, but they need to get to the over. The fans needed a little help from the Eagles to get to the over.
Yeah, well,
before
before
Kansas City got there itself.
Garbage time.
Yeah, got there by themselves. And of course, I missed Verity's fourth strike in a row.
Oh yeah, but she got it. So
checking the old Facebook chat. If you got questions, throw them in the chat. John's asking, what's the most common mistake you see for bowlers when you're watching amateurs play? I don't know if they're talking physical or
single pins.
Yeah.
And today isn't a good day for me because I missed 2 myself today. It wasn't very good.
No.
But yeah, missed single pins is by far the biggest mistake.
Yeah. I still remember the day you mentioned Walter Williams Jr. I still remember the day where Walter Ray Williams Jr. missed back-to-back 10 pins on PBA 50 tour.
Crazy.
May 16th, 2016 in Brentwood, California.
I remember Frankie talking about Duke missed a 10 pin on. Must have been like a playoff show or whatever in Virginia.
Okay.
And he looked dumbfounded.
Yeah.
And he came back, and it was just before they went to the commercial break. Frankie said that in the commercial break, Duke walked up to the lane, up to the foul line, and looked at the lane. And he got down, and he started looking at the lane. And he almost wasn't off the approach before they came back from the TV. And he turned to Frankie, he goes, I've shot it that way every day of my life since I was 18. I've never thrown one like that, and it missed. There's something wrong with that lane.
I think the great irony for Norm is on top of it too. They have a new Norm Duke bowling ball coming out.
I don't know.
It's a spare ball.
Really?
Yeah. They're issuing a Norm Duke spare ball. Storm is making a Norm Duke spare ball. It's got the pose. It's a clear ball and it's got the pose like Norm. I'm like, when Norm told me that in the booth, I'm like going, Norm, I see irony. He goes, yeah, I know.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Norm Duke spare ball for a man that never used a spare ball. Rochelle Blake just chopped a bucket in her 5th frame, so she's having some struggles after that nice opening frame.
She's already quite a bit behind Verity now.
Yeah. Looking for some other strike strings. So we got a front 5 in front of us with Dale Lyon.
Okay, let's swing back to him.
Yeah, let's. He's coming up on the left side of your screen here momentarily. He should be finished throwing before. Yeah, we'll keep.
Actually, I think they're going to bowl exactly the same time.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, actually, here we go. We got Dale Lyon, front 6. How about it? Let's get back to Verity. 5
that's left.
Ooh, that's a lot of 9.
I think they might be using the same ball. I'm going to go and have a look because the lighting's not very good.
Yeah. Glad to have Stu with us today. Drop those questions in the chat. We'll keep following the hot hands here inside the main feed. Glad there's a bunch of you watching your friends and family on the other lane feeds on the PBA YouTube channel. Glad we're bringing that all to you for free as well. And if you can share it with your friends and family on social media that you're watching Stu Williams as well. Direction assistance, so yeah.
So he's got a hammer ball up there.
Okay.
It's a light blue one. To be honest, they've released so many balls that I'm really struggling to remember which one that is. Unfortunately, we've had a 5 count though. Ooh. For Dale. I think it must be a super washout.
Yes, indeed. So we are just throwing clouds all over in the booth today.
Well, when we were watching, he got a strike.
That's true. That's okay. We didn't end it immediately. We just waited a frame. So any plans for the Lucky Larson, or that's just not going to fit the schedule?
No, I'm not going to go over for that one this year. I'm bowling a tournament. There's a big tournament in Texas, Longview. Longview doubles, so I'm going to be bowling that one.
That's a huge Calcutta, if I remember correctly.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be as good this year.
Okay. And Verity just keeps it going.
Because I didn't bowl very well, I'm able to bowl with Simo. So I'm not so sure that the Calcutta will go so well. It might be a bit top heavy, that those picks.
Oh, somebody in the chat thinks it was an Ocean Vive that Dale Leon was throwing. I don't know. I don't follow that too much anymore.
No, I don't think so. I think it's one of like the offsets, but yeah.
So, question for Stu: what would you recommend to replace a Zen Master?
Zen Rockstar.
Okay. How tough is it keep? I mean, for you, because it's part of your livelihood with needing to know what balls are going to do what, that type of thing. I mean, how tough is it to test something? Okay, it's going to replace this ball in my bag, that type of thing. I mean, how long of a process can it be to have that happen? I mean, it just doesn't happen like, hey, I got this ball, I'm going to replace this one type of thing. I
think it's one of those things where it's like, it really depends on how disciplined you are with it.
Okay.
Like for Chris has a really, he's pretty systematic with it. Like, he's a little less emotional around bowling balls than I am. So, like, for Chris, it's like, he'll really evaluate, how much better this ball is than the one it's replacing, really do a deep dive into it. Like me, if I take it out and I shoot 300 with it, I'm probably going to find a way to get it in my bag.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It buys itself affection pretty quickly. But, yeah, I mean, it's a little more challenging now because, obviously, the release cycles are much there's many more releases now than there used to be. Like, the market has kind of shifted, and I mean, it's one of those things where a lot of people say there's too many bowling balls, yet there obviously is demand for them.
Right.
Because the ball companies wouldn't be doing it. And I think that the demand has changed, whereas I think people want to see new things more often, a bit more like it was in Asia. I don't think people want to buy several of the, the one ball.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of been how it's been over the last few years. So that's made it a little more challenging because, like before, you had 3 or 4 balls that were going to be in your arsenal for like multiple years.
Yeah.
Now it's not really like that. So, and then of course for us, it's like it's a little difficult sometimes because like, depending on where I'm bowling and like changing layouts and stuff for some of the balls and like, like some balls fit in different spots in your bag. Whether I'm bowling on the national tour, if I'm bowling like a local tournament like this or whatever. So that's the more challenging part of it, I think, really, rather than, I think it's pretty easy because I don't necessarily think that there has been like huge, like seismic changes in the way the balls roll.
Right. There's
over the last, like, I don't think there's been like, it's been a while since there's been an Excalibur. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I guess Purple Hammer might have fit in that type of gap where, Storm have had a few, like, like the Zen, when that came out, like, a lot of people were like, but I don't think that like, what they do has drastically changed in the last 4 or 5 years.
Right, and you look at, there's prime examples for Ball Company, but you look at you guys, High Road. That's how many decades old now?
Yeah. And then, like, it's obviously changed a little bit over time. Like, the covers have changed a little bit, but, like, Verity's just in that. I was kind of in this zone in practice where it feels like there's not enough hook to the right to really just send it, but there also isn't enough, like, hold to kind of be soft with it. So you're kind of in between. And if you just get a little lazy with your hand on one, kind of like if you get it right and you're lazy with it, it doesn't want to come back. And if you get it left, because you haven't really got through it, it just kind of like just wants to grab a little bit because she's been through the nose a couple of times this game already. Like I think her last miss, she went straight through the face for a 3-pin. Ooh, just enough. So
it's still another solid game, even with that missed 4-pin in the first frame.
Yeah, she got a chance of getting out with 235, which would be 83 over for the first 2. So that would be a nice spot.
And I've asked a couple of the PBA players this, because you guys don't normally walk into a tournament, and it's not a beat the board thing. You guys don't know what you need to post to get into first place. Everything. Does that change how you approach this 6 games here versus it's your first 8-game block of the Illinois Open, and you got
not massively. I think if you're bowling a tournament where you bowl multiple blocks, you might like be a little bit more open to change, like in what you're doing, because you realize that the info that you're building up is valuable. Whereas with this, it's like I think I was a little bit like, once I found something that was pretty decent, I wasn't necessarily, once it became kind of obvious I wasn't going to catch Andrew.
Yeah.
It didn't really feel like I needed to like chase ball reaction because I felt like I had a pretty decent ball reaction. Like, and actually the couple of times that I really made drastic changes kind of hurt me a little bit. But like, but when you bowl in those tournaments, like, and you're going to come back the next day for a block or that next night, or that same night rather, then you're going to be making more changes, I think.
Okay. Let's see, 2026 PBA, it's not out yet. Who knows when it'll be out. All right, I'm going to ask this question. What's a center that you're hoping is on the 2026 PBA Tour schedule next year? You've always pretty much had a good
to be honest,
finish in.
Any of Dave's small centers have done really well for me the last couple of years. Like, so I bowled pretty well in Jackson. I think I had my high finish of the season in Jackson this year.
Okay.
Previous year, Anderson, I did pretty well there. And previous year, we were in Kokomo.
Yeah.
I did pretty well there. So for me, any of those. I would love to see Columbus come back on the schedule. It won't, but
Wayne Webb's?
That would be a place I enjoyed quite a bit. I would like it if we went to South Point again. I don't think we will, but that's a place I would like to see us bowl at. A lot of the places that we go to now aren't particularly my favorite centers. Like, I don't necessarily do super. Like, Akron's pretty decent for me. I've done okay there. Yeah. But, like, Indianapolis isn't a place I particularly enjoy bowling. I like going to Indy. I like the atmosphere. The weather's shit. Detroit falls into that category as well. Like, I ended up earning my stripes in Thunderball. I qualified through the tour trials in Thunderball, but like, not a big fan of bowling at Thunderball. Yeah. Not done particularly well there over time, but we seem to go there quite often. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I would just be happy if we've got a decent amount of stops for us to bowl next year.
Right.
So that's the main thing.
Yeah, I mean, the appointment TV, one thing I'm waiting to see is we know it's going to be appointment TV on CW. We know it's going to start sometime. That's going to be the first part of the year, because obviously when they said World Series is going to be later in the year on CBS Sports Network, okay, that's another animal.
I would love it if we could bowl, like, for 6 or 8 weeks or whatever it is, then have like 4 or 5 weeks off, and then have 6 or 8 weeks, and then have 4 or 5 weeks off.
Yeah.
Like, and have like, so there's an opportunity for guys, if they get injured, to get over that. If they, if you're struggling with your game, you've got like 3 or 4 weeks of like, you go out on tour, you bowl like 3 or 4 tournaments, and it becomes obvious, hey, this year this is a big like important thing. I've got to sort this out. So you can go home and like work on your game for a few weeks, come back out. It's really difficult when the events are like so compacted. Like, it's great if you get on a good run, but if you get on a bad run, it's a nightmare, because there isn't really a spot where you can go work on your game.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something you want to do during tournaments.
Right. Here's a because even like with Chris Barnes, he was struggling on the 50 tour, because he said he was still thinking like the regular tour. And he was having some struggles with it, and he actually got a little time off after the Senior U.S. Open, and hey, look what happens when he makes it to South Shore.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, after the Senior Masters, it was kind of like he bowled really bad at the Senior Masters. And then he got a couple of days where he could work on some stuff, and then he started to make pretty big strides at Senior U.S. Open. He bowled pretty well there. And then of course, accumulating in the win. At a Dave Small Center, Anderson, right?
Yeah. Oh, no, he won at South Shore in Hammond.
He won
in Hammond.
Okay.
So, yeah. So they're going to be in PBA 50 World Series at Jack 60. So he'll be back there again. And Chris has actually won more PBA 50 Tour titles at Dave Small Centers than any other player.
Yeah.
Found that out when I was doing some research for Dave Small's 100th hosting of a PBA event that's going to happen during the Monticello Championship at the World Series of Bowling.
Oh, okay.
So by the time that Dave's done, he'll be at 103. That's just amazing for a guy that didn't host his first PBA event until 2013. I mean, for all the regionals and stuff he's had at his centers as well. I know he does a couple of non-champions every year, a couple of other events as well. I always like going to Kokomo, because that was one of the first events I worked with Extra Frame back in the day.
How is that even
2014 in Kokomo.
That's only 12 years.
Yeah.
That's like 8 PBA events a year. How's that possible?
Because he had 5, 6, 7 centers, and he'd host in every center at least once.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember making the jaunt. I mean, he'd have a regional in Anderson. He'd have a PBA 50 tour stop in Anderson pre-pandemic. Kokomo, Jack 60 had at least 1, if not 2 a year back then after he took it over, and then he wanted to get national tour stops. So we did that. It's just an incredible amount of events he hosts every year. So I think the only center he has this year that's not hosting an event is Kokomo. And now he just bought Spare Time in Decatur, which was a great PBA host back in the early 2000s. And that could have an event with Dave taking that place over. So, so Dave Small, one of those guys that's really good for bowling. And,
he's awesome. Like I say, it's a great thing. Like,
even
sure.
A couple of quick comments from the viewers in the chat going, they like your idea. Let's bowl a bunch of weeks, take a break. Come on back. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Like, I think it just gives you a little bit.
Right. And it's not, I mean, when I do that in Milwaukee with the TV shows, we run like a 16-week season. We took 3 weeks off and we ran another 16 weeks. We didn't lose our ratings or anything because people knew when to watch. It was appointment TV. So, hey, we'll see you in a month at 9:30 in the morning, and people came back. I mean, so.
So talk to me a little bit about that. So is that on like local TV?
It's local. It's local over-the-air TV. It's on the sister station of the CW. So it's called the Bruce City Bowling Show. It's a blatant ripoff of a TV show that was on in the 70s, 80s, and 90s called The Bowling Game in Milwaukee. And it's 5-player teams that would sign up. They get picked, and then they bowl They each bowl 4 frames, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th frame on TV, and they'd win cash and prizes and stuff like that. So we had American Place Casino up in Waukegan, not too far from here, about 30 minutes from here. Hopped on board. They gave away free play. If people got a strike with a striped pin, they could win free play with that. Circle Las Vegas hopped on board. The highest game on each show got a 2-night midweek stay at Circle Las Vegas and David rental at Stadium Swim. So those were like $750. It's just a giant bowling game show. And now the last few weeks of the season, we kind of swerved it, and we made it, instead of a 5-player team, we made it where it was doubles. And then they just still bowled as a doubles team. They each bowled the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th frame, and the high team went to the final match, and it was a King of the Hill. And they bowled a bigger doubles match against another team for King of the Hill. And that was, you could win. We had one of our teams win 6 weeks in a row. Each week you won, the team split $250 in free play and $150 in dining at the casino. So one team walked out with like $2,000. They split in free play and dining and from jackpot shots with the straight pin and all the matches they won and stuff. So yeah, and actually we're in talks, breaking news, everybody. Because I've had people ask me, when are you starting the Windy City Bowling Show being done? I'm like, there's no way I could have that kind of time or anything like that. But with the CW, we're on a sister station of the CW in Milwaukee. CW starting next year, we're looking at being the lead-in, doing some regular scratch bowling tournaments, high caliber bowlers, amateur players or PBA regional guys or whatever, and doing a 5 or 6 week series that will lead into the PBA every week on the day of the week that they air, which I think I've heard rumors of Saturday or Sunday. So one day on the weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, so at least we know we got a weekend time. I've heard rumors both ways. So nobody said, hey, you're going to be out, Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. or anything like that. So yeah, so it's been fun getting back in the swing of things because we were on basic cable for a long time. But cable, if you don't have cable, you're not going to, if you have over the air or Dish Network or whatever, you're not going to be able to see what we were doing. And so being on broadcast TV has really opened up our audience. And we're averaging like 6,000 viewers a Saturday morning at 9:30 that are watching it live, and a bunch of people that DVR it, and a bunch of people that end up watching it on YouTube. So
that's cool.
And it's fun. Yeah, it's fun watching because we when we did the team thing, we made sure they had a couple of lower average players on the team and we made sure they had women because, first of all, I didn't want a sausage fest every week. Because that's not what bowling's, bowling's not all about, hey, it's a bunch of guys going out. No, it's families and friends and stuff like that. And we made it have some lower average bowlers on the team. So it was fun watching a lady at average 170 win a trip to Vegas. She was so pumped. She's pumping her fist in the air and jumping up and down and having an absolute blast. And we were watching guys that average 220 get all 4 open frames, and they win bowling lessons if they had all open frames. And here's a 220 average guy winning a Matt Gasson. If you know Matt Gasson.
I know Matt, yeah.
Yeah, winning a lesson from Matt Gasson. So I still don't think that guy ever. I gotta ask Matt if that guy ever redeemed it. So
I don't know if that says more about him or Matt.
Yeah, it could go either way. Congratulations, Matt, on your engagement, by the way.
Oh yeah, congrats.
I'm sure he's probably out poolside somewhere right now. So 27 and 28 for Verity Crowley and crew. They should be just getting underway.
Yeah,
if I can get on the right pair.
They're on the next pair.
There we go, and checking the approaches out. So I know it's starting to get a little humid outside. The sun's really going. It's supposed to be 92, and it is 92 outside right now.
Yeah.
Kind of humid, so everybody kind of checking the approaches down here.
It doesn't feel like the air's pumping that hot either.
Yeah, so not as much as it was first thing this morning. But then again, you get 64 bodies in here and plus, and then you get all that body heat coming off everybody. That's going to take the temperature up a bit, and the humidity is going to go up once again, thanks to the viewer that asked about Verity Crowley's deodorant. I'm sure it's working for everybody. Let's hope. Here's a good question. Do the players have any voice on where their tour stops are? Would love to see a tour event in Orlando.
Nope.
There's a couple of centers in Orlando that could
No,
host
no.
a huge
not
event.
no to Orlando.
Right.
No, we don't have a voice.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But Boardwalk Bowl, I mean, that's a 80-laner, isn't there, or something like that? It's a pretty big center.
Yeah, but I mean, it being a center and people actually, the center wanting us to go are two different things.
Yeah, that's true, too. So, somebody asked, can you see the Brew City Bowling Show on YouTube? Yeah, just just search Brew City Bowling Show. It'll pop up. It's on my 10 on the Deck Productions channel on YouTube. So, we actually did an episode. We closed out our first season at Holler House in Milwaukee.
Oh, God.
So, once again, blatantly ripped off the USA versus the World that I helped produce. That was also an award-winning live stream that
was
won
it
an
really?
IBMA award. Jeff Goodger, producer on that as well. So, I was part of the production crew on that. And when Tom Clark came up with that idea with Belmo and Tommy Jones in the basement there for the USA versus the World, that was a fun event. I wish that would have lasted more than a year for USA versus the World.
Well, they've done it so many different times.
That's true, too.
So, yeah.
So, and I always enjoy Holler House just because 2 lanes in the basement and cheap Polish beer is all you need for a good time.
I feel like I feel like we should have like a USA versus Europe versus the rest of the world.
That would be a lot easier to pull off than other sports. It really would, if you think about it.
Because, the European team could be like, Jasper, Dom, me, Santu, and I'm obviously forgetting one person.
Right. I mean, Martin Larson could be team captain.
Richie.
Yeah.
There's several people it could be.
Right.
And then, of course, the rest of the world, you've got Graham Farr, you've got Belmo, you've got Cooley, you've got Frankie, you've got Zach Wilkins. It would be like Canada light almost. But, and then, of course, you got the U.S. team, which would be pretty easy to figure out. EJ, Simo, Bill O'Neill.
I mean, it's one of those things, too, where you just...
Prather, Andrew.
Yeah. You hear all the hubbub with World Bowling League, and then from where it supposedly was going to now just we're going to start with 6 teams, waiting for that to start.
I'm fascinated where that goes.
Yeah, I mean, I did some work for that company during the 2023 World Championships in Qatar. I actually did the play-by-play from my room. Andrew Frawley was in Australia doing the color. Right? It was in Kuwait, yeah. Okay. So I was at home in Wisconsin doing play-by-play off the feed. Andrew Crowley's in Australia doing color commentary off the feed. It was pretty fun to do. And that's the one that the U.S. didn't go, and Canada ended up taking out Korea. Those Koreans, my God. That's a team that you go, why aren't some of these guys even trying to bowl in the States? I mean, years ago they had the Koreans would come over for the World Series of Bowling, and we haven't seen them in forever. And I was watching these kids, and goodness. I mean, one-handers with 2-hand rev rates and stuff like that.
I think they have a lot of city teams and stuff that they bowl for.
Yeah.
So they have contracts with them, so they don't necessarily need to.
Let's see. Kendra Cameron Curry is at Boardwalk Lanes in Orlando, so okay, that's good. I forgot who she's paired up with for the Lucy. She's paired up with somebody really good for AJ. That's right. AJJ, yeah, that's right. He'll be here tomorrow. Sean Rash will be here tomorrow. Boog Kroll. Tom Smallwood. Tom will be rolling with his son Brady. So I saw Brady on the roster too. So does your son Brady do any bowling with you, or is he into other stuff?
Not really.
Yeah.
He's a killer with a ramp.
Skateboard?
No.
Oh. Hey, I've seen people make money that way.
He's ended up moving a little bit further left. Kind of like that spot for her. I think she can just dial the speed down a little bit, get a little steeper. Now the lane's starting to break down a little bit.
We're going to try to get some scores here and see if we got any players making a run towards any division leads. I know we had Rochelle Blake with some struggles in game 2. She's battling very women's classic division. You got those questions for Stu, drop them in the chat. How many games, now we were just talking World Series of Bowling. was it 16 or 17 where you made all 4 match plays? World Championship. You had like 116 games in before you even got to the World Championship. It was an insane amount of bowling.
It was when Gary Faulkner won. So
2015. Okay, so that was 15. That was an incredible performance to watch before match play with you. I mean, just all 4 patterns.
Yeah. It was just a shame that the last one was very lefty friendly, unfortunately for me. It was EJ and 4 lefties who made the show, and there was 1 lefty, I think, in the top 5 after we finished qualifying. Ironically, Gary Faulkner. I think Gary was 2nd or 3rd in the qualifying.
Yeah.
Going into like the match play, but yeah, that was an interesting week for sure.
Yeah. And Gary used 1 ball all week.
Yeah.
That tells you something's up when a PBA player can stay in 1 ball for 5 different patterns. That's just insane. Oh, there's a 4-5 out of a 2-hander. Do you have to give your 2-hander card back if you leave a 4-5? That is the question.
Oh, we missed another 5-pin.
Oh, geez.
Right in front of us again.
There's just a rash of them today here.
I think I've seen more missed 5-pins than missed 10-pins.
Yeah. All right, controversial question. Better Baker, Diana Rash or Angie Vi?
I think both. Yeah.
That's a tough call. That really is.
I mean, I haven't necessarily had massive amounts of samples from either.
Okay.
I guess probably Angie's better because Angie does it more often.
Okay.
But I think, isn't there a story about Sean's mom working in a bakery that John Elway used to go in or something?
She was a baker in Alaska when they lived up there. Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't heard the Elway story.
I think there was something about John Elway.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't sampled any of her goods.
Andrew Anderson Bowling asking, what does Stu think my chances of staying in the lead are?
I think that Andrew's chances of staying in the lead are very high.
Okay.
Because the majority of the people left are bowling tomorrow, and I think that the more good bowlers that bowl on them, the harder the lanes are going to be.
And I have to agree with you on that because I remember the first year of the PBA LBC National Championships, all the exempt players were on the final squad of the event.
And the scores were terrible.
And
yeah, we were about 150 pins less than they.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, so he bowled extremely well. I think that his score here is safer than his score at Nationals.
Oh, okay.
So.
In about, another week or so.
I thought that Andrew was going to absolutely put up a number that was so high, and then he only ended up getting to 2180. And I say only ended up because that's still a huge score. But once he really got dialed in, I thought he was going to absolutely crush him. I thought he was going to bowl 2250 or something.
Yeah.
So
he started with 7 in team event.
He had
too.
760 in team event, and that's almost where he should get his own special eagle. Last time I checked. He actually had one of the strike jackpots all to himself.
Oh, wow.
So that was paying
team
22 or 2,300, I think.
Wow.
So
okay.
So he'll definitely be hoping that one holds on.
Yeah, no kidding.
So yeah.
Get the accountant. Speaking of which, if you need an accountant, no. Do you do your own taxes, or do you pay somebody to do them?
No, I don't do enough of it, and Tina yells at me because my wife is a accountant also.
Oh, okay.
But I always tell her, "Oh, you're better at this than me," and she always gets pissed off at me for saying that. So she's just like, "No, you're just lazy," which is probably correct, but still, we all have our our expertise.
Andrew's reply to you, I agree wholeheartedly. He said he thought he had a 51% chance of holding on when he left last week, so I don't think that's gone up. On this, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
No, he's insane.
He also wants Storm to name the Ion Pro line. There's got to be AA Ion Pro at some point in time.
Yeah, but it's on the wrong brand, isn't it?
That's true. He isn't. Yeah, Niner Global is on the front of that jersey.
So yeah, but yes, he had a lot of success with the Ion Pro. This year. This Ion Pro Solid, I've liked a little bit better than the original Ion Pro. A little stronger for me. feel like it might flare a little. It just feels like it flares a little bit more, probably cover related. But yeah, I like this this new Iron Pro a little better. I think it's a little more usable because it's a little stronger.
Okay.
But, I mean, Andrew got so many people on our staff to drill Iron Pros this year, and we were trying to explain to the bull reps that like what the ball does for him and what it does for everybody else just aren't the same thing.
Different.
But yes, I think that Andrew has a mid 90% chance of winning.
Yeah.
And after tomorrow, there's only about 3 people left to bowl.
Right.
And of course, Graham Farr's done.
Oh yeah,
Graham is always someone who you would worry about. He likes them when they're pretty easy. So
yeah, Graham did not do well. He was probably 250 pins lower than his score from last year.
Didn't he bowl like 1600 last year?
1631 last year.
Yeah,
all-time record through 3 years of this. And somebody asking if
probably going to be the all-time record through 30 years.
Probably.
Of this.
I would have no doubt.
That's an incredibly large score.
Does Verity's friend Christianis bowl professionally? I know
No.
I know he bowled collegiately.
No, he works for Kegel.
Okay.
So
gets out there when he can, and well, hey, you never know. In another 25 years.
He literally doesn't. He just
does?
bowls
Okay.
local tournaments.
Okay.
And, like he bowls the Lucy with Verity, but like,
Okay.
and by friend, it's a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, they put friend in the.
Yeah, no. I was
boyfriend.
Clarifying.
Long time relationship there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, you never know. He could be the next John Janowitz in another 20 years.
Yeah, he's in good shape. So.
Yeah. Bowls off. I mean, John did a little more bowling in there with Team USA and such, but didn't really travel a lot unless it was a Team USA event. It's not like he was out bowling.
That's left.
U.S. Opens and such.
He got that one in a little.
Yeah.
Didn't quite clear his hand as early. All right, let's go around the horn again.
Yeah,
Phil.
let's
have a little spin around, see if anybody's doing anything
I was just
special.
checking in on Rochelle here. She plus 11 she fell back to, and now she's not doing much here.
Not doing great.
Early on.
The lane next to Verity actually had someone who was doing quite well.
Yeah.
I just saw.
All right, let's do
just really quick, but like who was it? No, it must have been on the pair with her. But
Okay.
anyway, whatever. We'll move along.
There we go. We'll take one more peek.
Yeah,
back
like
here.
there, bottom left. Is that Keith?
Yeah.
Yeah, Keith's on a little bit of a heater. He's got a 4-bagger running there.
Okay. We'll watch Verity toss here, and then we'll get all the way back down the low end. And
because this is the lane that Verity's been striking on.
Yep.
It's pretty good.
Oh. Messenger in front of the 10 again.
Yeah, just the ball's just a little bit too far down the lane.
A few bowlers here there.
A couple of doubles there to start, but nothing.
Yeah, nothing spectacular. Just looking for those magic like 470, 480 totals, and I'm just
440 there, but
yeah. Teddy Rosenquist, PBA regional guy out of the Central region.
574,
but
465, 60, nothing there.
Yeah, nothing there. 420, it's not a lot there.
It's a fairly uninspiring squad so far, really, isn't it, Phil?
Yeah, unfortunately.
We got 410, 446 there. Is that
girls'
late?
handicap late? Yeah, she's in the girls' handicap. So.
Yeah.
And let's make one more run here. We're under the orange light.
440. Yeah, there's a 440 there.
Yeah, there's not a lot on the run there.
No.
So.
All right, let's one more. Yeah.
So yeah, we saw.
Oh, the 547 here.
Oh. All right, I missed that a little earlier.
Is that Rose?
I believe so. Let me get
Rose Tran.
Rose Tom.
Rose Tom.
And she is in the women's handicap division, coming in with a 155 average.
Well, she's on a heater.
Yeah, she is. We had a young lady during the PBA Junior event. They had a special Tuesday night squad for the kids that were bowling the Junior World Series here.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks back, we had a young lady. Her brothers were bowling in the Junior World Series. She's 7 years old. And 49 average. She's bowling a little pink frilly tutu, and she's in second place in girls handicap right now.
Ryan bowled in a tutu and bowled 300 in league.
Brian Barnes bowled in a tutu.
Yes. So if you go
Where did I miss that?
If you go on his channel, He's bowling with Ryan, with Kevin.
On YouTube. It's on his YouTube channel.
Yeah. So Bonzi bowling.
Okay. I need to find this, and we need to bring this up.
Yeah.
I bowled 300. All right, here we go. We are.
Yeah.
Give me a minute to work my magic.
So this was his. What would you call it? His. His forfeit for not bowling very well for Kevin beating him the previous week.
Okay. I love some good bowling bets.
So yeah, Ryan ended up having to bowl in a 2-2. So.
This is too good to pass up. We need to bring this in. I always love a program that once you get on a computer, that makes you re-register every time you want to use the program.
Yeah,
like really? Awesome. Like really? I pay you people enough money for this program. I shouldn't have to keep re-registering.
It's like with a lot of the medical like logins and stuff. Like it's two-factor authentication for everything, and it's so frustrating.
That sounded like a bowling ball that isn't going home with someone.
Wow. Well, Rose is on a pretty good start here. She's got 93 in the 5th, spare in the 6th. So yeah, she's making moves.
Oh my God, this is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. We're going to switch from our normal programming for a moment.
So here's Ryan. So that's gone to an advert by the looks of it.
No, that's actually their cut.
Oh, that's their cut.
Because
all right,
Jim Carrey was wearing a tutu.
Let's
go forward.
Let's see Ryan throw a couple of shots in it.
Let's go forward here. As he's coming. How do you? I mean, you got to love the legs that go with it too. Let's be honest.
There's Roddy, his editor, bowling with him.
How did I miss this?
Yeah, and then Kevin. I mean, let's talk about Ryan having handicap. Like,
wait. There's handicap in that.
Well, I don't know.
He's bowling with Larry the Axe though. So if you're bowling in a league with a Larry the Axe, you're probably bowling in a handicap division league. No one has said a word for.
We just want to see Ryan throw one shot. Why is this so difficult?
I don't know. Who does this editing?
No, it's more a case of who's got hold of the thing. No, that's Roddy again. There we go.
Here we go. Okay, here we go. We're back. See, he's got that hiked up way too high. He doesn't have to throw around.
I don't know if it was a woman wearing it, that would be hiked up right to the right spot. So anyway, yeah. So that was Ryan. Ryan bowling in a 2-2.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah. So let's see if we have any comments.
On the Barnesy channel. Okay.
Yeah, on Ryan's channel. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So let's see if we've had any comments about that, Phil.
Let's get back here. Not yet, but I'm sure. Well, there might be people applying for therapy.
Yeah. Well, they might be a little delayed. So here's Rose. She's about to go up on 24. She's the one who's on a heater this squad. Let's see what she does here, and then we can check in on Verity, see how her and Chris are getting on. Rose with the old league favorite, didn't want to bowl next to a split.
A couple of I Love Ryans now popping in the chat. So.
Yeah.
Not bad for. I mean, we've been rating them.
I mean, to be fair, as well as he bowled with that, and as bad as he bowled on TV a couple of times, maybe you should try that for the TV.
Right.
People would be more focused on hating on his 2-2 than they would for. Oh, there you go, Rose.
How about it?
Go get some. Go.
Feeling it, and she's wearing her LBC shirt from last year. She picked up the official LBC jersey. So
let's have a look, see where the Verity pair is getting on. Verity. Okay, so she kind of needs a strike here to set it up for the 10 frame. Still got 238 out, which you get to like 705, which you put her in a really good spot for the ladies. But of course, you've got Liz Johnson, you've got Danielle McEwen, still to make appearances. So.
I had to call a round of action at a 2-2 one time, an extra frame, but that's a whole nother story. And nobody really had to see that. So, other than who was in the bowling center. But also, George Pappas was also wearing a 2-2 at the same time. So, we can get a Hall of Famer, PBA Hall of Famer, into a 2-2 in his own bowling center. You've done something right.
That was a pretty nice shot for Verity. I'm just ignoring you, Phil.
I don't blame you one bit.
Just we've moved on.
Yes.
Mentally, I've moved to a different place. Yeah. What we never actually went that way, I don't think. To the high end.
Let's go over to
so
we got it.
Yeah, Rochelle, we did actually come over here.
Look at her finish.
She's saved this game a little bit. 220, 219.
Okay. So 30 over, not horrendous in any way, shape, or form. Just needs to get a bunch more to go with it. Try to make things happen. And the chat slowed down a hair, so still remember the fatal, and I shouldn't say fatal week, but the week before the world shut down. It was myself and Natalie Tackett running the show at the World Series of Bowling in Vegas. You and Chris were off on a particular squad, came in the booth, and I got smart and got the hell out of the way. That was one of the funnest times I've ever had, just sitting, watching the production go on.
Yeah.
When you and Chris took over for that. And then Asku stopped by, of course, too. So.
Yeah, we had a busy booth.
What was the group name you had for all the foreign guys with Asku and all that?
Dal used to call us the bitchy foreign fucks.
The BFFs, that's right.
The BFFs.
That's right. Because didn't you guys bowl under that moniker in a team?
We did,
in Vegas? Yeah. So. Delbert, hope all is well at home. I see Carolyn's been traveling a bit, getting ready for junior gold and stuff. So, and Del should be in more Hall of Fames than he's actually in, because that is one brilliant human being when it comes to this sport of bowling. He taught me a bunch just my first couple of years out on Extra Frame. He'd stop by the booth, and if he heard me say something, he wouldn't correct me. He'd elaborate on it. Like, I'd have the basic idea, and he'd go, "Oh, but if this happens, and then he can go to this ball and everything." I'm like, this guy's amazing.
Yeah,
this guy's absolutely phenomenal. You know, I mean, some of the guys, the Storm guys I learned from early on with Timmy Mack and Dell, and a little bit from Callahan whenever he felt like actually having a chat.
Not going to give Callahan any props.
I actually saw him here a couple of weeks ago. He was working the Junior World Series.
He's working with Bowl TV a little bit. Yeah.
So. Let's see if we can get a big punch in the 10th.
Ooh, she got away with that. Getting a 9 there was a
10 down.
Getting a 9 there was a nice result. So she's going to get out with 217, kind of similar to the last game. That's what I was saying. This is why I hate starting on the weird pair.
Yeah.
Because if you start on the weird pair, it feels like it's good because you get the practice on it.
Right.
But then you don't get a read for what all the rest of the pairs are like. So then if you don't make a good guess going into the other pairs, you're kind of screwed. It's a bit like sometimes, like when you bowl a tournament, you start on the end pair, and everybody says, "Oh, the end pair's great." Yeah, but it's not the same, is it?
No.
So it's like, it always is a little different, end pairs and stuff. So you start on that end pair, you kind of get lined up to bowl the lanes like that pair. And then, of course, when you make the, when you're trying to, figure out what to do for the rest of the pairs, you're like starting again. Whereas the other guys are kind of got a leg up on you.
Oh, is it? So, okay, so it is official now. CW will be Sundays in 2026 for the PBA.
Okay.
So there we go. So get, one would think probably with the way the schedule's been the last couple of years, late January, mid-February, once they actually announce 2026. Hey, I see Arturo Quintero's been moving back down into your neck of the woods.
Yeah, I think he's moved to San Antonio.
He's running a pro shop and managing a bowling center there, from what I had seen.
Good for him.
One of the Bowl Portland people took over his pro shop he opened at Broadway Bowl. And,
right.
Going from there. Did you miss Bayside this year? With it not being on the schedule?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I think it's a little overrated. Like the way people go on. Like, I think that we've been in places that have been like, people have been having a good time.
Right.
Like, I think people are like making it seem like we're bowling at like the Maracanã, like the like the stadium in Brazil that seats like 100. Oh,
yeah.
Like
100,000 fans.
150,000 people. Like, I think it's awesome, but like I think it's got a little. People have gone a little, I think things go from underrated to overrated very quickly.
Yeah.
And like I've had a good time over there. I think that maybe we ran a couple too many consecutive days there, and I think it kind of watered down the product a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I mean, wherever we go that fans really want to come out is cool. Like, all the places are cool.
Right. Like the last.
Like so yes, of course we miss going.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily miss going there any more than I miss going to any of the other places where we've had good support.
Gotcha.
That's what I mean.
Gotcha.
It's not to disparage it. It's great.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like some of the descriptions of the place have been a little over the top.
Right.
Like you would think that we were literally bowling in a baseball stadium.
There aren't too many mezzanines to watch bowling from. There's only 3 or 4 that I know of in the country. With down in O'Fallon, Illinois, you can watch over the top of the lanes there, and then obviously the National Bowling Stadium, and then Bayside Bowl. PBA Elite League with the cities, or PBA Elite League with the brands? Had all the brands. Cities. I felt the same way. I felt just there was something missing, and I got to be
just for reference.
Yeah.
The stadium I was referencing.
Yeah.
The people have no idea where it is in Brazil, in Rio.
Yeah.
The record attendance there is 173,800.
Yeah. Isn't it? That's not the same stadium where the Eagles and Packers played to kick off the year last year.
I think that was in Mexico, wasn't it?
I know it was Brazil. They were in Brazil.
Oh, yeah, quite possibly.
Yeah,
but yeah, 174,000 they had in there.
That's insane.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, getting back to what you were saying.
But I just felt there was something spark-wise missing.
Yeah,
okay, the cities are faking whatever, but
I just think that for that product to be successful in my mind, like they have to give teams to the places that we go, and we have to have home meets.
Right.
And I liked the concept, whether it worked out exactly how we wanted or not last year when we were bowling. I actually think that concept might have worked better with the ball company thing.
Yeah.
I don't like the format of the ball company one at all. Mm-hmm. I thought it sucked.
Yeah.
Like the way we did it.
Yeah.
I didn't mind bowling as part of the ball companies. I just didn't like the fact that the teams were pre-selected before we, bowled the event. I think that, from a player's perspective, I think it would have been better if it had just been the best 5 results from your brand each week. And I also liked when we bowl team rather than we just tack it on to individual events. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It wasn't really a team event last year. It was an individual event where you collected the points together.
Yeah.
Whereas the previous year, you literally bowled as a team every week, and I think guys liked that.
Yeah, it was. I love the expanded thing where they actually went where you guys had those couple of Baker matches at several of the events.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like that.
That was
a
blast.
Yeah, and
but that was rough on you guys as bowlers. Cause
not really. It was pretty easy.
Okay.
And I feel like, we could give a bunch of the places we go all the time a team.
Yeah.
Chicago could have a team.
Yeah.
Akron could have a team. Detroit, one of the Texas areas could have a team, and then you could assign a pro from that area to that team.
Right.
And, like, you know, there's so much stuff from that. Whether we'll ever get back to that, I don't know. I doubt it, but
I'm hoping. I enjoyed that part of the competition as a fan. Just a flat-out fan. Let's see. Yeah, people in the chat agreeing with you. It should have just been the top 5 players off of each company each week. Take the points and go and pile it on.
Because I also felt like it was kind of weird when, like at the World Series, Rotogrip almost had more points not selected than selected.
Yeah.
Like, we always seem to pick the wrong person the wrong week. So, you know, I don't know that it necessarily promoted the brands, you know. So I always keep going back to, like, the Masters 2 years ago. Like, Storm had 4 of the 5 people on the show, and only one of those guys would have got picked.
Yeah.
Because D-Ron won, Patrick Dombrowski was 2nd, Belmo was 3rd, and Richie Teese was 5th.
Yeah.
Well, only Belmo would have got picked of that team, like, going into that week.
Yeah.
So, you know, Storm dominated it, and then they could have ended up not getting the most points from that week, you know, given the way they did it.
Yeah, so. Especially, double points or major or whatever, that he threw in there. Would you want Tom Clark's job?
I'd take his paycheck.
It's funny because I can't get the guy to buy me a drink when I see him back home in Milwaukee. So he'll buy one on the road, won't buy one at home.
I think he has. I do think he has a pretty difficult job.
Yeah,
but I think he's compensated better for it than I am for bowling. So
true. You know, he's got the guaranteed visit to the pay window.
I've got pretty thick skin, so I think I'd do okay out of it.
Yeah, it's like doing this. Yeah, I get the guaranteed check walking in the door at a bowling center every time I do this. So,
yeah,
no doubt. Yeah, if you got those questions for Stu, keep them going in the chat because we need to get caught up on Verity and company. So Verity strikes. Hey, there's something new for Verity. Strike in the first frame.
I only did it once, I think. I'm just going to quickly get a drink.
Yeah, take your time, Stu. We'll get you. Always glad to have a PBA player in the booth. Always glad to have Stu. I'm good, thank you. Always good to have a player like Stu in the booth. Award-winning PBA bowler. IBMA, Visual Media Award-winning bowler, Stu Williams, in the chat. Can't wait to see Stu talk about that plaque on a future Beef and Barnsey show. Yeah, don't be shy about questions for Stu. He's the type of personality that loves to answer. It doesn't have to be about ball. I mean, it can be about the balls that are out there, equipment. You know, you've seen a few of the questions that already passed through on the chat. No, we will not ask about Stu's deodorant. So, yeah, that's one thing you will get with Stu is unfiltered, no doubt about it. And I have my moments of being unfiltered, but not very often. Usually it's on a Facebook rant or something. And Verity mixes them up for the double. Let's check in with Rose Tom. She's going to be coming up shortly on 27 and 28. She is throwing a ton right now. She's at 796 with her handicap after 3. My goodness. For what I have on the roster for Rose, she's coming in at a 155 average. So she has to be throwing absolute tons for her games. In these handicap divisions, you pretty much have to have a career day to take over the championship. In the division, take over the lead. Once again, the number Verity Crowley is chasing down in the women's classic division is 1324, or 124 over by Margaret Ventrella. And Crowley, can't get the 10 to go. She's sitting at plus 84 after 3. So if she keeps pacing the way she has for her first 3 games, we could have a new women's classic division leader. We could also have a new women's handicap division leader after this squad. As 14:36 is the lead, set by Kristen Lewis. And Rose Tom well on pace to get past that number. We'll check on Rose momentarily. And she'll be stepping up on lane 27 and 28. After Verity makes her spare attempt. There you see Rose coming up. She's wearing that official H5G branded PBA LBC National Championships jersey from her past trip. She's got the 2024 edition on currently. So let's see what Rose can do here to keep things going. 794 with her handicap after the first 3, and wow, if you can slap out a double,
bang!
Checking her footwork a little bit.
Verity actually was struggling on that pair as well.
Yeah,
with the approach. So I just went down and talked a little smack to Verity because Chris is only 1 pin behind her.
Oh yeah, 684, 683.
So I was cheering him on, and she was giving me this the side eye.
We're going to go right next door after Verity throws because we got a front 5.
Oh, boy.
With Kendall on lanes 29 and 30. You'll see Kendall come up on lane 30 momentarily.
Is that 660?
662 for Kendall.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was. It's this monitor and the camera and the screens aren't necessarily always the best combination to see exactly what's up, are they?
You are exactly correct on that. And unfortunately, with the scoring system they have installed in here, we can't use lane talk. There's no lane talk to be used.
Right.
So, yeah, it's...
so you have to have a slightly wider angle than you would normally.
Correct.
So it actually helps a little bit having that higher angle.
It actually helps when the scoreboard's white. With the yellow background on the actual score that's in play, it's actually a little more legible on these screens. But it's like any other bowling scoring. You try watching it, somebody's trying to watch it on a cell phone. You can't read, even on lane talk. At least I can't read what the scoreboard might be saying. So Kendall ends, well, geez, we're just closing doors on people left and right now. As Kendall Porty stops his string at 5. Let's get back over to Christianis.
Oh, boy.
Not your fault.
Thank the lane guy. Tip your lane guy.
2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 wrongs can make a strike. Copyright $2 Phil Enterprises. Please do not use without the express written consent of Major League Baseball and $2 Phil Enterprises. Yep, there you go. That's why I got that little bad boy over there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yes, this is. Let's get back to Rose.
Yeah.
Rose is on the heater.
She's waiting for that last second approach.
Oh, they haven't the approach
to be done.
cleaned.
Yeah, they're getting that done.
Yeah, she's got 790 now. She's asking for approaches to be cleaned.
Yeah.
We got some questions.
Here we go. Here's one that we can wrap a good 7 to 10 minutes on.
Oh boy.
Hey Stu, you mentioned about the string pins on the Beef and Barnesy show, but on a scale of 1 to 10, are the odds for actual PBA and PWBA tournament titles?
Man, I hope like an 11.
A fan?
Yeah, I think the game. I actually think the game is more pure. Like I think you've got to hit closer to the pocket, like the true pocket.
Yep.
And I think that like the game as it is right now is, in my opinion, is somewhat broken. Like there's way too much advantage for rev rate as opposed to just like the balance between rev rate and power to accuracy is way slanted in the rev rate and power. Mm-hmm. And I don't believe that there shouldn't be an advantage. It's not like I believe there shouldn't be an advantage for having a higher rev rate and throwing it harder. Of course there should. Like more power should always be rewarded. It just the gap between how much is being rewarded now is just, in my opinion, too large.
Rose crosses over and another strike. So
Bang!
when it's your
and
day,
she's still moaning about the approach.
Yeah. When it's your day, it's your day. But of course, there's still 2 more games to go yet.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I've streamed some regionals from string pin centers. One from EJ's place in Indiana, another where they had the All-Star weekend. And talking to some of the guys, you know, they say it's just the guys can't cheat on. Oh, I got a messenger. I took out a half 10. Oh, I don't have to make that big move for another frame or 2 yet.
Yeah.
And then, well, no, you got to kind of make it now because you half 10. So maybe you should make it now.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think that Flanagan had an interesting way of looking at it. He said if you were to reverse engineer it and we bowled on strings the whole time, and they came up with and we were going to change to free fall, everybody would say how ridiculous some of the like how ridiculous are messengers. If you'd never seen a messenger, how ridiculous would you think that is? Like, and all sorts of stuff. And like there was a bunch of things that I'd never really thought of. Of course, there'd be no more deadwood.
Yeah.
Never really thought about that as a thing, but yeah, there's no deadwood. So that's kind of an interesting thought process, especially with someone like Jeff Goodyear who wants to have a chat about deadwood technique.
Oh, there are some great deadwood videos on the I Am Jeff YouTube channel over the years of deadwood clears that have been done.
So that whole genre of YouTube videos wouldn't exist with string pins.
Well, I'm sure we could find other things Jeff would find.
Yeah, I mean,
replace that.
like what? Tantalizing tangles at the strings?
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Here comes that series from I Am Jeff.
Jeff with 1 F.
That's his hockey jersey. He doesn't have a number. He has an F instead of when he plays hockey. I thought that was interesting. I've only met one other guy with 1 F as a Jeff, and it was GEOF. Which I found even stranger than just JEF.
Oh, are we going again?
Yes,
Bang!
indeed.
We are triple in the Brooklyn.
Don't
stop moaning about that approach.
Right. Don't change a thing.
Bang!
Just keep smiling. Just keep crossing over. Go
Bang.
with it. We could definitely have a new leader in the women's handicap division.
She might already be leading now.
It's 1436, 236 over. So she's already 190 over.
Yeah, plus a four-bagger and
plus
handicap.
Plus a four-bagger and handicap. And she's coming in. I have 155. Whether or not that was made something else in the tournament office before we were done. So. We'll get some information and verify what her scratch first 3 games were.
Well, it's consistent because last time that we looked over and she had 540. This was she had 248, 249 the last 2 games. But that's, of course, with her handicap.
But, yeah, let's see. It's fun to watch. I mean, when you watch a bowler and it is. Sometimes it's a lifetime day for a bowler in the handicap division to put up a score like she's doing. My wife has 1 700 series to her credit. She did it at the National 600 Club years ago, and she shot 769 as a 185 average bowler. Yeah, just everything fell in place for one day. It's fun to watch those. As a player that, up and coming, she was still she was still working, getting better at the time, and all of a sudden, bam, here it all hits at once. Oh, Verdi really starting to move to the left. That was big wheel there she made a ball change after that 7-2. A couple frames back. Come on, Rose. Let's ride it.
Rosie, Rosie, Rosie. Looks like she's using RSTX 3. Not that I think that it necessarily matters, but I think that is the ball of choice.
Yeah, a couple of comments in the chat about how people are learning to like bowling at their bowling centers out that strings are in because they get done faster, nothing's ever broken, they're not waiting.
It's a lot quieter as well, EJ said. Oh, she made the mistake of going for the pocket. What were you thinking?
Back in the days before custom jerseys, there was a woman in Milwaukee, Earlene Fuller. She's a Hall of Fame bowler, but she also used to do a lot of custom bowling jerseys, especially for the black community in Milwaukee. And you could tell, and I had one back when I was a youth bowler because it was kind of a status thing, and she would give you a little ladybug on your collar. So you dealt with the ladybug even if you're a guy because Earlene was a very sweet person. She had a 300 game where her first and 12 strikes were the only ones that were in the pocket.
Nice.
9 crossovers.
Oh, she might have this.
Come on.
Oh. So 112 in the 5th.
What is the dress code for the event like this? I like the jerseys, but don't want to look like a poser. The question. No, you're not going to be a poser if you come in here. Everybody's got custom bowling jerseys nowadays from all the different companies that are out there. But it's a little more relaxed than a PBA event. If Stu showed up for the PBA tour and if he wanted to bowl in shorts, ain't going to happen. I think it should, especially during summers and that kind of thing. Bowlers are athletes, let them bowl in shorts. But you can bowl in shorts. We've had players bowl in mock necks or T-shirts with bowling ball companies on them. So, yeah, you don't have to worry about too much of a dress code for this PBA LBC National Championships. You can, if it looks good, not athletic shorts. You're not going to be coming in wearing a pair of basketball shorts and a tank top or something. But, yeah, it's a pretty relaxed dress code for this event. I kind of think, Matt Russo and I were having that discussion last week where after a certain month of the year, if the PBA is on TV, players should be allowed to wear shorts during the tournament. We came up with like August 15th. Players should be allowed to wear shorts during all rounds of the tournament, including TV.
Yeah, I mean, you say that, but the golfers don't wear shorts.
I thought Live Tour wore shorts.
Live does, but the real
they're not a real tour, yeah.
No, it's not that. It's
Come on, Rose, get there. Oh, I thought she was going to get that one all the way back in the pocket.
Yeah, they got real money.
That's true. I always get a kick out of people I see screaming on Facebook about how Tom Clark should contact the people that that fund the Saudis. I'm like, oh, let's not go there, people. Let's just push that one to the side and forget about it. Let's see, string pins, regionals. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of regionals. I know like Cubic AMF is bumping some prize money in this year. You got a lot of string. You don't have a lot of string pin centers down by you in Texas yet, do
No, Russ Macklin had as a place that I've been meaning to get to, but no, they're on. Oh, she missed it.
Oh.
Damn it, Rose.
Yeah.
All right, let's leave Rose alone. Let's go. Let's flick back over to Verity, see where she's at, and then what's she doing? Nothing special. All right, let's watch Verity throw this one, and then we'll switch up to Jerry here on 3 and 4 because he's got a good game running. Jerry Mars.
Jerry Mars. One of the first interviews I did at a World Series of Bowling was in 2014. Was with Jerry, and that was about 100 pounds more of Jerry at the time back then.
Verity's struggling to get it through the lane now. Picked up a little early. 9 pin.
Samar, yeah, not a good start for his first 3 though. He's at plus 18. I mean, he can pick up a bunch. Try to save a check. 1 and 8 pay ratio. You get yourself into a cashing spot. You can get yourself a nice little number when that check arrives sometime in August.
Yeah.
And Rochelle Blake, boy, that nice start Rochelle had, and it's just been a struggle since. She's has 1 strike this game in the first frame and nothing since getting into the 8th. So Rose coming in with a 155 average, started off with a 241, so almost 100 over her average. She's catching 58 pins a handicap a game. So with her handicap, she had 299. So her handicap games, 299, 248, 249, and her scratch score is 241, 190, 191. So Rose still with a chance to get to a 190, but it's going to take a little bit of help. Needs to right the ship after a couple of opens after the opening 4-bagger. I think we're going to get Rose coming up. Nope, Rose isn't up yet. Hey, how about a conversion on a 479? Oh, almost. We'll get the Jerry and his lovely bride, Kelly, here. They were my first PBA Kiss Cam a couple of years ago at a regional in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We were following them with a PTZ cam because they have a habit where if Jerry gets a strike, he comes back, and it was way before the Gary Haynes kiss that rocked the bowling world. Jerry and Kelly have been doing that for years. So we were having some fun with them with a kiss cam that followed them throughout the center on Jerry's bowling. Made match play that time, missed out on the step ladder. It's another regional at Chris Barnes I've streamed in E1. For the old guys that were there.
Yes. Yeah, have we got Jerry up?
He's coming up right now, so here we go, left side of your screen. He's one of the rare guys at this level that's a free agent. So a lot of bowlers, even higher level amateurs, have ball contracts and stuff, but Jerry's been a free agent for a couple of years now. Likes to drill up his own stuff.
He's got 280 running here.
Yeah. Now he's playing. Now he's being intense over there. He's purposely ignoring us. There we go. There we go. We got it.
Turn to Jerry.
There we go. I got this remote control camera. I can run it over the 10th frame and.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah,
because they got a nice game running here for Daniel as well. He's got 259 running. He's got 70 over, 69 over, and he's got 259 here. So he can get to like 129, 128 with a couple to go. If you guys have got any more questions, fire it in.
Yeah.
I am probably going to get running. I've got a long drive back down to Springfield.
Somebody asked how lanes 5 and 6 are doing this weekend. They're not giving up 300s yet. We've had 3 of our 8 300s on that pair. 3 of the first 4 were on that pair, actually.
Verity had better hope that she ends up hitting that pair when she makes the cross down. But 3 and 4 is going pretty nice.
Yeah. We had 3 on 5 and 6. We've had 1 on 9 and 10, a couple on 31 and 32. And I'm trying to remember where Rudy Rebs was for his. Rudy Rebs is in the middle of the house somewhere.
Rudy Rebs.
Yeah, he took down a regional.
Bowling with JJ, right?
JJ, yep. Him and not the best footwork there for Rochelle. But yeah, him and JJ were up the road at Beverly Lanes last weekend after all the PBA.
Come on, Ken. Show us how it's done. There you go with the striking against breast cancer spare ball. Bang!
Are those still available?
I believe Donna might have some. Yeah, I think she was doing a reactive ball for this year.
Oh, I must have missed that announcement on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
I think she did a reactive ball. I think it was pink.
Yeah, I know they have the jerseys again.
Yeah,
that they do, but. Yeah, it's such a that's one event, we talk about places we want to go to again. That's one event I miss. I got to cover once with Flow Bowling, and I wish I get the chance, crossover it is, to go back and cover that event. And it's not just because of the bowlers like you and all the good PBA and PWBA people. It's the people are out there just supporting it. Huh?
It's not because of you.
It's just
that's all I heard. Not your lot.
Right.
Not you people.
Not you people.
But it's the good bowlers. It's not the good bowlers I care about.
The good bowlers make the finals all, there's enough of them all the time. Every year it's like, who's EJ Tackett going to win with this year? Or who's Anthony going to win with again,
Bang.
That's what it's been.
He gave that the walk-off strike. I think he's a little bit pissed off. We've all been there, bro. We've all been there.
Yeah, you close out for 185.
So Jerry got a chance at 280. There hasn't been many games above 280.
No.
Like outside those couple of, what'd you say there's been 8 300s?
8 300s. Matt Russo had a 299 last Saturday night. We had a young lady that threw 289 a couple of weeks ago, but then that was her only game of her block. There we go.
Jerry.
We are not that far away from Mr. Mars right now, and I'll tell you what, you talk about a guy outside of what he does on the lanes, what he does also to get people to the lanes and stuff with all his Friday Night Sweepers, a bunch of tournaments he helps run either at Poplar Creek or down at Strike and Spare 2 down in Lockport, which is another great supporter of the PBA. They host 3 PBA regional events a year at Strike and Spare.
Jerry. 280, baby. Let's go.
You get a couple more games like that. That can turn the old paycheck window around. Yeah. Hey, we've seen 28 in a row here. Anything can happen.
Hey, he's already shut out of the lead.
That's very true.
He can only get to 1498. Can you imagine that? The back 34.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, woo!
Well done, Gerald Mars.
Jerry.
Guess what pair he goes to? He
goes. They're just off camera.
He goes right next door to 5 and 6.
Oh, he's going the 300
He's
pair.
going to the 300 pair. So we may have to. All
right, I'll stay until Jerry misses again.
All right. Oh, that's a challenge. All right, that camera's staying back here then. No doubt about it. Yeah, 5 and 6 aren't. I haven't seen any big scores come off them, but this could be our chance now. So somebody said, "You people." What do you mean, you people? All people, not just you people. It's all people. No.
I was giving Phil a hard time using the phrase "you people." He didn't use it.
So any other big non-PBA events? You mentioned that Longview doubles and stuff. Anything going on? Oh, there's some good PBA events though at Shawnee.
Yes.
Region.
Lubbock is currently
they're back. That's right.
Is back. Lubbock Sports. So we had a tournament over at South Plains under new ownership a couple of weeks ago. Frankie ended up winning. It was 7,000 on top, 1,500 for top 8.
Nice.
So awesome prize fund.
Yeah.
We got the same prize fund again in Lubbock, and I want them to forgive me because I need to remember the name of the bowling center.
Plainview? Is that the other center there? Okay.
No. So Stephen Wood and his parents put together the event.
Oh.
It is at Whitewood Lanes.
Whitewood, okay.
Whitewood Lanes. I actually have been to Lubbock probably 15 times, and I didn't realize there was another bowling center in Lubbock until I read about this. So they've stepped up, and a very similar prize fund, another great prize fund, $7,000 on top. I think it was $4,000, $2,500, $2,500, and then $1,500 for top 8 again.
Oh, nice.
So like wildly great prize funds for regionals. Best prize funds I've pretty much ever seen outside of like, the summer swing type regionals.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And then the weekend after that, the North Texas USBC, which is basically Dallas. Terry Taylor runs a really good event. Their Masters and Queens tournament. So I'm going to bowl the Masters for that. And then the week after is the Lucy. And then after that, I'm not 100% sure. I've got I'm going to UBA this year.
Oh.
So I'm going up to I think it's Newcastle in Delaware.
Okay, yeah.
So going up there, bowling that. That's in August. And then, of course, I've got there's a huge bracket tournament, team tournament in Dallas. Dino runs it, like Kickoff it's called. So that's middle of August. We've also got, I'm not going this year because it clashes with that tournament. Same weekend, Fagan has just bought out the center in New Mexico.
10 pins and more in Rio Rancho.
So he is hosting the New Mexico Open that weekend. So if you're, they're still looking for players, so still taking entries.
Is that the last event before he's converting to strings?
Believe so.
Okay.
So that's 13th, 14th weekend.
Yeah.
So the few
there's
days
a lot
before that.
There's a lot of big events across the country.
There is in September. There is a big event in El Paso. I'm not going to that one because it's always on Brady's birthday.
Oh, okay.
So my son. So that doesn't work out super good for me. So yeah. So there's plenty of things to bowl. Yeah.
And plenty of action as well with.
In some of the places,
action,
yeah, Dallas isn't the best usually for action, actually.
Okay.
Houston's much better for action than Dallas, which is weird because Dallas has a lot of very good bowlers.
Yeah.
They just don't want to play brackets, really.
Right. So I'm trying to remember. Shawnee's got a couple of regionals a year that they do. They do the big PBA Southwest Invitational at the end of the year.
Yeah, so they do a regional and then that.
Yeah.
And then they also run the Snowman Doubles, which is Skillins' kind of baby.
Which is good luck getting the ball to hook the last couple of years there.
Yeah, pretty much. It's hand oil lanes.
I'll wait for Jerry to bowl. Let's see what Verity does here. She had a blower 7 first ball on 34.
Yeah, but all I'm seeing is that Chris has taken a 52-pin lead.
949, not too bad, as you mentioned, though, unless he pretty much goes off the sheet. The next 2 games, he's looking at second place or worse. So we'll stay here for Chris as Jerry yet to throw. On 5 and 6. And we've got Stu until Jerry stops striking, so if you have a question, ask him now. I just see something about UBA in the chat. How much trash talking are you going to be doing once you bowl in the UBA?
I don't tend to start it, but I have no problem engaging.
I still remember back in the Flow Bowling days where someone who has one of your competing podcasts was there as a broadcaster and had to leave the building under the threat of personal injury from some of the comments that were made.
Oh yeah,
off air, yeah, at a UBA event. Also, like where did
Jerry's up?
Where'd they go? Come on.
Here he goes, Jerry.
Make it happen, Jerry. There we go. I think you've given him the incentive. I think you should get a cut of what he wins. Here, I can give my headset if you want to talk to him.
No, it's not that big a deal.
All right.
So I'm here until you miss. So once you miss, I'm out of here.
No pressure. Right, you're good. See, exactly. Quality human being. Hey, guess
so
what?
He left another 7 pin.
Another 7 pin, yeah. So they said 5 and 6 were tough. 5 and 6 hasn't been that tough of a pair since I've been here, and I sit right behind it every squat. I mean, 300s. Not that tough of a pair, at least in my opinion. All right, Verity with the cover. Let's get back to Jerry. Yeah, you talk about a guy that's fought back over a bunch of health issues over the years and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, he's testing the approach.
Yep. Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, he's hopping back. It's all good. Going to ground for the equipment. Yeah, I saw that UBA was actually expanding into this. Who knows? Jerry Myers might end up on a UBA team. Saw that they were expanding. Are there a lot of franchises for UBA in Texas, or are you on a franchise? Oh, a Rap 10.
Jerry's telling me I can go. Appreciate you, Joe.
I'll tell you what, Stu. It's been a good time in the booth, as always. Again, hopefully it's another award-winning one.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll get. I'm sure you'll see that plaque from the IBMA in the next month or so. Once they get those things all processed, make sure you got that award.
Write that down.
Yeah, I got to get your address before we go. So.
All
right. So, Stu, thanks for everything. Appreciate it. Safe travels back down the road, and we'll see you at the start of the 2026 PBA season for sure.
Yeah. If anybody interested in somebody just bullshitting about bowling, come join us. Beef and Barnsey Show on YouTube. We're on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. Central. Usually we're on for about an hour. If you want to have a look at some of the old shows, check out. They're all archived on the Beef and Barnsey channel. Please give us a look. Watch a couple of videos if you like it. Subscribe if you don't. Subscribe anyway.
Yeah. I mean,
so it's free.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you get information you're not going to see from any other people out there. When you get the inside story on a lot of stuff, it's a great watch. I usually catch up. I don't get a chance to watch live, but I will go through and scroll 10, 15 minutes here and there on stuff I see they're talking about. And yeah, it's a good one. And now those rat bastards at Facebook, you can't archive there anymore after 30 days. They get rid of it on you, so you got to make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yeah, well, I
so
prefer you did anyway. I don't get paid for Facebook.
You don't get paid for Facebook. Beautiful.
All right,
Stu,
thanks, guys.
Appreciate everything.
See you later.
Sir.
Thanks, Phil.
All right. I don't know, all of a sudden it goes where Jerry Myers would rather have a hug from Stu Williams than a kiss from his wife, Kelly. I call shenanigans as Stu leaves the booth and goes to talk to Jerry for a moment. So, yeah, once again, please hit that subscribe button on the PBA. Also, hit the subscribe button on YouTube for Beef and Barnsey. And, I mean, they bring some interesting people in there when they get a chance as well. It's not just Stu and Chris, shooting the breeze and talking about what they just did. I mean, they go all over the bowling map with those conversations. And when it really details to the PBA Tour, yeah, you're going to get information from them that you're just not going to get from anyone else. So here in Game 5, everybody moved just one pair to the right from Game 4. So our new chase on the women's handicap side with Rose Tom, she's sitting at 1,027 for her first 4 games. So she fell back a bit in Game 4. But let's figure it out with a little bowling math. Kristen Lewis leading with 1436. Rose Tom is catching 58 pins a game. So Rose basically, if she bowls her average of 155 the last 2 games, she will be in the lead by about 20 pins. But sometimes when you're in this type of situation, knowing you're going for a tournament lead is something you haven't really had the chance to get under your belt before. All right, Rose Tom taking her first attempt here in Game 5. As we mentioned, she actually needs a total of 294 pins her last 2 games before so Rose would take the lead. Once again, Verity Crowley, she just needs to get past the good start there for Rose. Verity just threw a strike, so you see right there, Verity keeping it clean but no doubles through 6 frames. Verity right now on pace. We need to get 428 between her final 2 games to get past that score from Margaret Ventrella. Handicap, as I already mentioned, 1436, where Rose Tom just needs to get 294 or 147 pins in each of her final 2 games to get past that number set by Kristen Lewis. So good game here by Crowley. A strong finish. Not necessarily a must to get into the lead, but it would definitely make rolling the ball in game 6 with a little freer arm swing. Great toss there by Crowley. Apologies for just a second. I'm in recovery mode after having Stu in the booth because honestly, I used to having somebody talking to me for 4 or 5 games. Only had a couple times over the last couple of weeks with Matt Russo and now Stu Williams. Wow, I think Christianis is a little surprised that that one came all the way back. You see the smirk. On the way back for Christianis there, and he gets a 3-bagger on the board. Once again, can't get himself into the lead, but a strong finish here and a strong game 6. He can find himself doing what Justin Bone did this morning, get yourself into the top 5 for a nice paycheck from the LBC. Let's get over to Jerry Mars as he's looking to pile on. Once again, Mars, another guy just looking for a big finish, get a good visit to the pay window, even if it's not the first place check. And Verdi, that was a little unusual. 6 still leaning on the sideboard. There finally completes the fall, but it was past that 7.5 degrees of tilt that was needed for it to be counted as an official fallen pin. Let's go over to the Rose Tom again. Looking to start her 5th game with a double. As we said, if she bowls her average the last 2 games, she'll be your new women's handicap division leader. It needs a lot of help. Ooh, and the big old washout. So thanks to everybody in the chat that threw some questions. And Stu Williams, Rose. Oh, she got the 210 and she got the tough 2 out of that. Let's get back to Christianis. Sergievis. There we go. Good game going for Christianis. Take a peek over to Jerry Mars. Coming off that big 280 game, looking to duplicate that feat here in Game 5. Be a great triplicate if you could actually finish with it, Game 4, 5, and 6. 280, 280, 280 for an 840 series. Well, he got the 2 out at least. So once again tomorrow, 11 a.m. local time, noon Eastern for those of you tuning in on the PBA YouTube channel. We're going to have a bountiful buffet of PBA exempt players bowling tomorrow, including Christian Ascona, H.J. Johnson, Sean Rash, Bud Kroll, Tom Smallwood, and Packy Hanrahan, all scheduled to appear, along with Matt Sanders, along with PWBA GOAT Liz Johnson scheduled to appear as well. I'm not sure if Danielle McEwen is on tomorrow's squad, but one would think with the proximity of the PWBA event in Green Bay next week for their 10th anniversary celebration tournament. Danielle would be on that squad and not the following weekend, because that's opening weekend for Junior Gold, and most of those PWBA women will stay up there for that following weekend for the trade show and or the stadium, I should say arena, not stadium. The Rush Center is an arena, but they're expecting 7,000 to 8,000 fans for that finals there. Oh well, oh no, oh good. Take a bow, Verity Crowley. She's going to finish with 248, and then she'll just need a 190 game or better. Actually, a 180 game or better will get her in the lead. And she'll be at plus 145. The women's class will be currently plus 124. So we would say odds are looking at a new leader in the women's classic division. There you go. Put the last 7 on the board for Verity Crowley. Yeah, Rose Tan. Washout last time on this lane. She's got strikes on either side of that washout. Needs a lot of help. And that's a lot of 6. That could have easily been a 3 count. Actually, that's going to be a tough conversion. We saw her have a couple crossover strikes last game. She's going to want to get to the crossover side for this spare attempt. Have the 1-2 hit heavy on that. Have the ball take out the 5. Have something deflect into the 9 pin. Christianis looking to keep that strike string going flush. It's got a chance. Oh, just a little too wide on that head pin. And 2 opens and 4 frames for Rose. Tom. Over to Mars. Gets them all to go that time. So 263. Just the one errant shot in the fourth frame. So still a realistic shot. For Chris Yeas. To get into the top 5 in the Open Classic division. Nothing really lost on that one. 262. If he can throw a 250 a game or better, he'll get himself in the second place. Even with the game just at 200. He'd put himself into the top dozen. So a good opportunity at the pay window for Sergio Evas. Getting into their 6th and final game. Well, Rose Tom 2 for 2 on this lane so far. In game 5, we've seen quite a few players in this event find one lane and not the other, and yikes, let's just hope the wheels aren't coming off for Rose Tom at the moment. Tom with another open. As we mentioned before, she needs 294 for her last 2 games total for scratch, then add in her 58 pins a game of handicap, and she'd get past our current women's handicap leader of Kristen Lewis at 1436. But Tom's going to need to get a couple of marks on the board, and getting a couple of strikes in a row on the board would really help that cause right about now. Patterns on the lanes for these players all event long, from first weekend to last weekend, which is now next weekend for last weekend. 42 feet in length for this custom PBA LBC National Championships pattern. .25 milliliters in volume, about a 4.5 to 1 ratio inside of the lane to the outside boards of the lane. And Weston, you wouldn't want to watch the first 4 games at Justin Bowen bowled today, because he was right on pace with you. But then game 4 fell off a bit, and then he ended up getting in the 5th place on the scoreboard. But once again, your 1500 and the 1500 for Andrew Anderson are only 2 totals of 1500 plus for this event to this point. And trouble there for Rose Tom, as fitting the ball between the 4-5. I'd give her 30% chance at a bowler that's a 155 average of converting with that particular spare. Get over. Get them both. Oh, I thought she was going to be on top of that one. So, yeah, marks are a must here for Rose Tom to finish this game. I mean, if she can throw 4 marks in a row, actually, let's just say 3 marks in a row on the board, she can get to her average. That's what she really needs to be concerned with right now. I mean, if she goes Dutch off the sheet, she's at 150, close to her 155 average. And as we mentioned, she needs 294 scratch for her final 2 games. Let's get back down and see how Jerry Mars. Oh, Jerry Mars at back-to-back opens. Stu Williams left, and Jerry Mars' luck just went south. Daniel Esquera on this pair with Jerry Mars, having a solid day. 928 for his first 4 games. Puts up 245 this game. Square in the Open Classic division, so he could find himself with a solid last game. Could find himself with a small check. Let's get back over to Rose Tom here. See if we can stop the bleeding. She's got the Bo Burton buzzard on the scoreboard with those 3 consecutive opens. All right, there we go. Stop the bleeding, Rose Tom. Get that strike on the board. As we said, important for her to get some marks on the board. Close out strong and minimize the game score you need in game 6 to get into the lead. So let's see if Rose Tom can pile a double on the board here. That'd be huge towards her climb towards the top of the women's handicap division. We'll have to find out after we're done if that was her highest game ever with that 241 she opened with on the squad today.
Should I try to win you a prize?
It's nice that that gentleman offered to win somebody a prize. Didn't ask me. Not like I need a stuffed animal or anything out of the game room here, but it'd been nice to be asked. All right, big ball here for Rose Tom. Let's see if she can get a double here. It looks pretty good out of the hand. How about that? Big double for Rose. Yeah, get that smile going. Should feel very proud about that toss. Once again, thanks to everybody that's joining us on well, it's definitely a hot and sunny one here in Chicago. Don't know how hot and sunny it might be wherever you may be watching from, but hopefully you're relaxing with some LBC National Championships bowling. No lie to you, got to have some fun with Stu Williams while he was here during our first 4 games of the squad. Thanks everybody that asked questions of Stu, and don't forget about that Beef and Barnsey podcast. Tuesdays and Thursdays most weeks. Your best bet, like the Beef and Barnsey Facebook page, but then subscribe to the Beef and Barnsey YouTube channel, mainly because they can't archive the live streams on Facebook for more than 30 days, so you can get some great past podcasts on the Beef and Barnsey YouTube channel. And it's just good talking to Stu because you know where you stand with Stu. There's a few players on tour that you kind of know where you stand. You definitely know where you stand with Stu, and I appreciate every time he has to deal with me, chatting with me, and asking questions that may have been asked 100 times before by me or others. And I saw it today with Stu talking to the players before his squad, after his squad, before this squad started bowling. The amount of pure fun that Stu was having. Good break there, going high for Rose Tom. No, Stu was having fun. It wasn't like, hey, this is part of the job and I have to do this and that kind of thing. No, Stu is genuinely having fun talking to people. It's great. Taking pictures, all that stuff. Stu loves it. It's one of the best parts about the sport of bowling. You're not getting that close to LeBron James or Aaron Rodgers or anything like that. And just getting a selfie. They say don't meet your heroes, but I think if you meet your heroes in the sport of bowling, I don't think they will disappoint you at all. Oh no, Rose goes past it. So she's going to have a maximum score of 156. If she can get 20 in the 10th and get 146, then she need 148 in Game 6 to take the lead. So we'll stick close with Rose Tom. We'll also follow Verity and Christianis as they're moving down to 9 and 10 for their final game. And I believe they are just getting underway. So we'll join Rose for her 10th frame. And they're in Game 6 here, so So Crowley starts with a strike. As we mentioned, she needs 180 or better to take over the women's classic lead. Christianis can't get into the open classic lead, but he can get himself into a top 10 spot, and he can actually, with a game of 250 or better, get himself into second place. That's not a way to start with 250 unless you get a huge break. Oh, he almost got the 3 to go on that hit. Let's get over to Rose Tom. Mark here in the 10th would be huge for Rose. She's trying to battle the top spot in the women's handicap division. High breaks the split. So a spare here, full ride, would need 148 in game 6 to take over the women's handicap lead. So Rose did get her spare as Verity comes high. Verity has 1145 for 5, or a plus 145. So she only needs to get to plus 125 for 6 to take over the lead. So obviously, if she shot 180, minus 20 off of that would leave her at that plus 125, would have her in the lead by a pin. So Rose gets the strike on the fill ball. Verity covered her spare, so Rose is going to need 148 next game. And she's going to be moving lanes 5 and 6, so she's going to be right in front of our booth. Again, this pattern, you can actually see the pattern at pba.com/LBC tournament. If you scroll down that page a bit, you'll see where they have the oil pattern. So you can get all the great numbers on that. But it's a 42-foot pattern, specially designed for the LBC National Championships. .25 mils in the pattern. Stuff 9 for Verity. Take a So as Rose Tom and her group make their way down to 5 and 6, we'll stay here with Crowley, Sergievas, Beagle, and Feltz. Beagle and Feltz not in contention for their divisions at this time. Well, it doesn't have plenty of hooks. Sometimes it's just the pairs. That they're on, especially now they're in game 6, so it's broken down a bit. But definitely with 18 feet of dry and a little less oil on the outsides, these bowlers can make it bounce back from 5th, 6th board. I mean, if you use the rule of 31, you'd think the break point would be 11, but we've seen some players like Verity here, she can really wheel it. She's keeping it a little tighter there. And gets them all to fall. So Sergievas needs 250 on the head to get into 2nd place. Can't get the first. 1460 by Todd Seghetti, your current 2nd place score behind the leading 1523 of Weston and Griffin. And Sergievas having that chance of getting the 2nd. I'm sure they don't get to bowl too many events together with Christianis and his career at Kegel and Verity with not just the PWBA career, but Verity taking part in a lot of coaching clinics, let's be honest, across the world on the PWBA offseason. So I'm sure they're having a pretty special day together on the lanes, especially as well as they're bowling together right now. A quality couple that social media is together stays together. This one's going on the Patran for Verity. Yeah, quality toss there. That's a great shot. You see the celebration on the way back. And now it's time for Sergievas to match the strike Crowley just put on the board. Getting that length down the lane is Sergievas currently. And here's the first toss for Rose Tom as she tries to take over the women's handicap division lead. Needs a 148 game. If she bowls her average of 155, she'll have a little room. Great toss there to start by Rose, but the wrap 10, every bowler's enemy. We'll give you the radio call on Crawley as she's stepping up in her 6th frame, looking for 3 in a row. Crawley got her strike. Tom hooks away. And that's not going to build any confidence for this final game. See what Christianis can do here. Looking to keep his chance for 2nd place alive. Oh, he's got it rolling nicely. This could be our highest finishing couple of the event to this point. I mean, I don't know how many other couples have been there. I know last week we had Kobe Franklin make the top 15 and his girlfriend, Margaret Vantrella, take the lead in the women's classic division. That lead looking like it's going away, though, for Margaret. With the sweet roll that Verity Crowley's putting on that ball right now. The strike here for Crawley, and yeah, it just wraps up. 1st place currently in the women's classic division, but then number of bowlers to bowl yet in that division tomorrow and next weekend. So I would not make it a sure thing to hold on for the title, especially with 2-time defending women's classic division champion Liz Johnson bowling at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. local time here tomorrow. Once again, we'll have all lanes of play covered as you get every frame, every game, every bowler, every pair, every squad reviewable for free on the PBA YouTube channel. Sergey Avas and Tom both up at the same time. We'll give you the radio call. I actually see Tom coming into your picture there. As Tom goes high and Christianis wraps at 10. So he is going to need to get through the 11th frame. And that's assuming a mark here in the 10th, or a mark here on the 10 pin. Cut over to Tom first, as she's going to try to convert that baby split. It's got a chance, ladies and gentlemen. Well done by Rose Tom. And Sergey Avas still with that chance. He can get to 269 this game. Needs 250. And somebody's doing a little wee bowling on 3 and 4. Keep the string going for Crawley. Nope. You could tell the reaction on that shot was just blue. Best thing to do here, get 2, move on. Gotta keep piling on those pins. Oh! And a chop. Over to Rose Tom. Let's see if she can take advantage of that big baby split conversion. Looks pretty good out of the hand. Oh, no. No wiggle on the 7 and a much tougher conversion here for Rose Tom. Sergi Ames doesn't have to strike on this shot to try to get to 250, but a strike helps greatly. And now it's a must in the 9th and 10th. Great cover there by Rose Tom in a clutch situation. So even with that open, Crowley just needs to keep the ball in the lane the next 2 frames. She'll be your new women's classic division leader. Of course, she wants to pile on a bunch of pins. She can still get 229. That would put her at +1 at 74 or a 13 at 74 total. I don't know how confident she'll feel about leaving with that, but we'll talk to her after the round is complete, and you'll see that interview in the next day or so on the PBA League Bowler Certification Facebook page. A little more work to do for Verity. And back over to Rose Tom. Couple big split conversions. 3-10 in the 2nd frame, 5-7 conversion in the 3rd frame. Yeah, she's looking to chase down probably her biggest visit to a pay window in her bowling career. No doubter on the trip big 4 there. Ito. All right. It's all Rose Tom needs to keep doing. Filling frames, putting slashes on the board instead of dashes. This man here, though, needs a strike if he wants a chance of getting at that 2nd place position. And he does it. So we could have a new player in 2nd place. We definitely have a new player in the women's classic division. On the top of the leaderboard with Verity Crowley. And your new women's classic division leader. Over to Rose Tom. Let's see if we can keep the marks a-rolling. another baby split to try to take care of. So 219 plus her 145 is going to get her plus 164 for her 6 games. Your new women's classic division leader, Verity Crowley. Let's get over and see what Rose Tom can do here. Trying to give her second baby split of the game. Well, Verity left the 4-pin, and Rose can't convert. So Rose Tom still with some work to do, but let's see if we can get another player into that second place position. How about that? For Christianis. Sergio is. Get himself to 1480 and a 20-pin advantage on the current second place set by Todd Seghetti. Can't get the week 10 to go, but still your player now in second place. So there you go, 1469. And second place for Christianis Sergievas. Over to Rose Tom, needs to start marking again, gets the 4-7 covered. There you go, Rose Tom. Keep that run towards the top alive. All right. Big spare here coming up for Rose Tom. Yeah, she's trying to get to that 148 game so she can take over the women's handicap division lead. We'll add in her 58 pins of handicap, and that would get her to 1437. Once she gets to that 158. Great cover by Tom. That's a bunch of trouble there. Mark here gets her over the top. Anything short, she's going to need a mark in the 10th frame for Rose Tom to take over that women's handicap division lead. And 2, 4, 5, and 7. Yeah, I don't. A lot more ways you can miss it than make it. Get all the way over. Yep, there you go. And Rose Tom is going to need a mark and 3 pins in the 10th frame to take over the women's handicap division lead. Double check my math. A spare and 3, so a mark is necessary for Rose Tom to try to get her spot in the PBA LBC National Championships clash. If she can hold on through one more squad this weekend and all 3 squads next weekend. So once again, 8 PBA exempt players on your 11 a.m. local, noon Eastern squad tomorrow, including Sean Rash, including A.J. Johnson, including Boog Kroll, including Tom Smallwood, including Matt Sanders, including Packy Hanrahan. So make sure you tune in. Plus, there'll be some PWBA players scheduled to appear as well, with Liz Johnson and Danielle McEwen. It's a full squad and it's a lot of big guns. We'll be looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, noon Eastern, for that final squad of this 6th weekend of the PBA LBC National Championships. It's a must-mark situation for Rose Tom. Sometimes you say that as a 210 or 220 average bowler, you think, oh, pretty much a sure thing. Yeah, we've seen that not happen for those types of bowlers. Now, with a 155 average player, one would think that it would be a little bit tougher to guarantee that mark. We'll see if she can just pop it all off in the first ball here. 10th frame for Rose Tom. It's on the head pin. All right, she leaves herself a makeable with a 610. This spare and 3 pins, and we have a new women's handicap division leader. She started with 241 scratch today. They gave her 299 with her handicap, followed up with a couple of 190 games. She's had some struggles game 4 and 5. Trying to hold it together here in game 6. It's on target line. Is she going to get them both? Yes, she does. And now she needs to keep it on the lane and get 3 pins, and we'll have another division leader change. That'll make 2 on this squad. Of course, the women's handicap result fully unofficial, pending average verification. On the lane, she's behind the foul line. There's your new women's handicap division leader. Finishes with a big strike. And unofficially, Rose Tom, your new leader in the women's classic division, pending average verification. So 2 lead changes and a bowler in 2nd place in the open classic division on this squad, with Christianis Sergievas taking 2nd place in the open classic division with his 1469 total. Join us tomorrow, noon Eastern time, for your final squad of the 6th weekend of the PBA LBC National Championships. Thanks to Stu Williams for joining us in the booth. Thanks to all the fans that watched. Giving questions to Stu. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow from Bolero Mount Prospect to wrap up weekend number 6 of the PBA LBC National Championships. Parents, take the kids bowling because you know they're going to have fun for life. See you tomorrow.